There have been thousands of people here at this memorial site all day, David. Matt.
Okay, couple of timeline issues. They shot the bullets were shot out of the hotel suite for 9 minutes. So police didn't arrive for an hour. Right?
Right. 72 minutes, yeah.
This guy was there 9 minutes afterwards, apparently, because he's the one responsible for the shooting to cease, according to this report.
Yeah.
And that's what the cops are saying. Oh, the security guard was in there.
Hero.
And the security hero was in there, and then the guy stopped shooting and started shooting at him. And then he went, and the way they describe it, he got away somehow, and he went to tell authorities, which again took about an hour to get there after that. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been to Vegas. I've been to places that have security guards. I don't know of any security guards that don't have an overamped walkie-talkie that's making a lot of racket.
Security guard down, security guard down. We got a nut job up on the 32nd floor. Security guard down.
That's what would have happened. What you just did.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been on his horn talking about being shot on the 32nd floor, and it would have resulted in people showing up.
Auga.
But somehow he got away and then had to go alert people about this situation.
I've been shot.
So this doesn't make any sense. Now, this other thing doesn't make any sense is the other report that came. I don't have it in front of me. I didn't reclip it, but it was the discussion by some of the police who were kind of annoyed by the security guard getting so much credit, saying that they were coming out of the elevators as he was retreating, and he was part of the firefight that took place.
Yeah,
that would have had to be 10 minutes after the initial contact.
Now you know why you don't see him on TV. The story doesn't line up, and that's why they spent so much time in the press briefings on the timeline,
which they still haven't got correct.
No,
by their own discussions.
Yeah. Yes.
So the security guard story is rather sketchy. And I don't know if if there is a security guard. I mean, that could be a non-existent person. We don't see him. He could be someone hiding in fear because he knew what was going on, or he may have been part of it, which is not unusual. Security guards, they don't get paid a lot.
Right.
I'm not accusing him. But the whole thing is very suspicious, and it doesn't make any sense. And I'm totally convinced that this guy shoots himself with a Magnum or some crazy gun, which is not anything what he's going to do. But let's go and play the rest of this, which is I got 4 clips, and all of them fairly short. And it's about Paddock. And let's start off with the one I think is on CBS. The Paddock was up at the casino, which just is a baffling thing. The guy makes nothing but money.
Left by a social media post, by a telephone call that was made, by investigators mining computer data. Today, in our investigation, we don't have any of that uncovered. I wish we did.
Paddock holed up in a suite at the Mandalay Bay Casino Resort with several weapons, including AK-47s and AR-15s. Sources tell CBS his arsenal would have cost more than $50,000. Investigators also found Paddock's car in the hotel parking garage. It held an explosive, tannerite, and at least 1,000 rounds of ammunition. CBS's John Blackstone asked if losses at the casino tables or any financial problems may have been a motive.
I can tell you that we've ruled that out as one of the reasons. There's no massive loss of money, none of those things that might cause that. In fact, I would say it's probably to the contrary. He was up.
He was up.
Yeah.
Then I have to just point out, I know a real international arms dealer, Joop van den Nieuwenhuizen. And he's gotten a lot of trouble because he sold some submarines to the Chinese. He's a Dutch guy. And I went to him to Vegas to the helicopter show when he owned McDonnell Douglas. He was trying to sell me an MD 900. But you got free Learjet rides and all kinds of groovy stuff. Vegas is perfect for this kind of business. It is what goes on there all the time. All the security conferences, all the big weapons conferences, and as you point out, right near it's convenient for the Mexican gangs. And we do have a history of selling them under under his eye, under the watchful eye of the FBI, such as the Fast and Furious program, which I never really expected for you to go there, because was the first 4chan theory. Based
I didn't read any of the 4chan stuff.
Well,
so
you're nailing it, actually.
Well, I'm doing it from logic.
Yeah, and I like that.
So let's go to the other things that confirm this. And again, I think it would be just as easy for the police if they didn't want to get themselves into too much trouble to say, we don't know that this guy did any of this. It might have been somebody else. But then that brings in the issue of where's the cameras, of who came in and out of there? Who could it have been? Where's all the security? And Vegas is loaded with security.
Hey everybody.
Was there some deal where these cameras were turned off?
Welcome to No Agenda.
They use the same company they used at the Pentagon on 9/11.
Probably just keep my mouth shut and let you enjoy the show.
It's fun.
The references to it's not the same company. The reference, so I don't know if you should bring in spurious information, but the reference is to the fact that there are supposedly videos of the jet slamming into the Pentagon that they won't release.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Because there was a missile. Anyway, Paddock Psych Rundown 1.
And also...
We'll take you through more of that video in a moment and what it tells investigators. But first, new information about the shooter, Stephen Paddock, and why police suspect he had also considered attacks on crowds at big events in Chicago and Boston.
Okay, stop. I want you to listen to this bull crap with this in mind. They are making all this NBC. They're making all kinds of assumptions. He considered shooting it up in Chicago.
Can I just stop you on that very point? This is because I'm getting text messages from young people who went to Lollapalooza and they're freaking out. I'm like, hold on a second. There's a concert everywhere these days. I mean, if he was in Austin, he was there during South by, is going to kill people. He was there during ACL Live, he's going to kill people there. Every hotel overlooks some kind of venue at some point. That is such conjecture. That is terrorism right there. That's terrorism.
This is the worst report in this regard, that what you just said, that I've ever heard.
Terrorism.
It's all conjecture, and it's like, it's beyond the pale insofar as like jumping to conclusions. This guy travels everywhere, and because he actually didn't check into some hotel that he got a reservation at, he was going to do a murder. But wait, he's never done one before. He's never going to do one again.
Yeah.
But we're going to make these assumptions. And this report, you might as well start from the beginning. This report and the follow-up are outrageous in the way they twist things.
We'll take you through more of that video in a moment and what it tells investigators. But first, new information about the shooter, Stephen Paddock, and why police suspect he had also considered attacks on crowds at big events in Chicago and Boston. Our justice correspondent, Pete Williams, joins us now with late details.
Terrorism.
Lester, good evening. Investigators say this new information comes from what authorities hope will be one of the most productive searches now underway of his electronic trail from the half-dozen phones and computers he left behind. Officials say Stephen Paddock did internet research earlier this year on Lollapalooza, the summer music festival in Chicago's Grant Park. They say he even reserved rooms in a hotel that overlooks the park for a few days during the event, though he never actually showed up. He also researched events at Boston's Fenway Park and nearby hotels, officials say, according to FBI searches of electronic devices found in his homes and his internet browsing history. A sign, they say, that Paddock was thinking about attacking large crowds months before the Las Vegas shooting rampage.
Sensationalism, terrorism, selling fear, great ROI for these people.
It's unbelievable. This report is so lame, and they do it with such earnestness and sincerity. I find it abhorrent.
Yes.
But let's play part 2.
Thinking about attacking large crowds months before the Las Vegas shooting rampage. But so far, investigators are stumped over how Stephen Paddock went from being a varsity tennis player and sociable high school student in California to the antisocial former accountant who became a mass murderer. His brother Eric has said he knows of no serious health problems that would have made such a profound change.
Something happened in his head that the Steve I knew 2 weeks ago.
Now, this is a different brother from the Nutty brother?
No, it's the same Nutty brother.
I thought his name was Patrick. This guy's name is Eric? I thought his name was Patrick.
I didn't hear what his name was in this, and I didn't know his name. It's the same guy.
Okay, well, you saw it, so...
The Steve I knew. No longer the guy who did that.
And officials say his girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, has told authorities that Paddock had some mental health issues and would sometimes lie in bed crying out, "Oh my God." But investigators say they have yet to find any...
Now, wait a minute. How did they get this information? I heard this too. Where'd they get this information from?
From the girlfriend?
Yeah, but who? Is there a leak in the FBI?
No, the Filipino girlfriend.
I understand. But who was interrogated by FBI? The FBI.
Apparently, this is what they got out of her.
And where was that statement?
I don't know. I didn't see it. They're just
Thank you. They're just making it up as far as I'm concerned.
They could be making it up, but even so, saying "Oh my God" when you're in bed is like, I don't know.
Danley has told authorities that Paddock had some mental health issues and would sometimes lie in bed crying out, "Oh my God." But investigators say they have yet to find any health problems, physical or mental, grave enough to push him into becoming a killer. As for police saying he might have had an escape plan, investigators say they found no hard evidence of that or of help from anyone else in planning or carrying out the attack. And despite tips that Paddock was with a woman the day of the shooting, no such person has yet been found. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
Now, by the way, can you imagine being a gun runner and you're kind of sleepless and you're in bed and you think of some unbelievable scheme?
Yes.
And you say, "Oh my God!
Oh no!
It's, what is it, honey? What is it?" And
Nothing.
you go, you just can't tell her anything. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know.
Just for your rundown, I do have two clips on the medication angle, so I know you have one too. So however you want to play.
I actually don't have an. Which one are you thinking of?
Well, you have Paddock psych rundown ABC details. But let me bring these in then.
Yeah, okay.
Two clips. Now this is, I think this is Fox Business. This may be CNBC. I can't remember. The second one is definitely Fox Business. But they're touching the third rail of cable news.
And the night terrors that she talks about. What does all that tell you?
The night terrors interest me quite a bit. If it was just once, it could be written off as a bad dream. But the implication is that it was more than once. And that tells me this man was very, very disturbed to be crying and moaning and screaming while he's asleep. If a child were doing that, we'd be calling the doctor. The second most important thing is the revelation that he was taking Valium, that he was new at using it. It had a prescription for it. Valium is an anti-anxiety agent. It's a tranquilizer.
Yeah, it makes you really amped up and hyped and ready to go kick some ass and kill some people.
It's like a drug.
It's diazepam.
Old-fashioned trank.
Yeah, diazepam, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I've had that. It's to go to sleep.
My martini calms the person down, but extended use, frequent use and extended use can cause more problems.
Yeah.
When the person comes down off the dose, the drug is no longer acting.
You mean comes up off the dose? You don't come down from Valium. You come back to life.
In their system, they can go into a clinical depression and become even more nervous.
Yeah.
So obviously,
obviously,
putting all that together, Tony, you would certainly want to talk to the doctor who had prescribed these medications to him, right?
Again, I'm surprised this investigation's not gotten to that point. I mean, these drugs are controlled. Prescriptions are very, very controlled. So why aren't we figuring out more about who prescribed these and why? And this goes back to my contention.
By the way, my first thought, seriously, my first thought was Shantix. I swear, that's like, man, this guy was probably, was he a smoker? Did he try to stop smoking?
Looks like one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
This particular report is weird because we've never heard them go into this before on any of these other crazy people who have taken weirder, more extreme product.
It gets better.
By the way, Valium is kind of public domain. It's a generic.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's hurting anybody's business.
Is that an RSSI? I don't think so.
It's an old-fashioned tranquilizer. It's like very. It's I don't know. We can look at it. But it's not. Somebody can tell us.
I don't think
it's a mild. It's nothing that's causing these problems that these other drugs do.
Right. And but again, Chantix. That was my first thought. I'm like, man, this guy must have been trying to stop smoking, because that would explain everything. People do the craziest crap on Chantix. But now this is from Fox Business. They're going to hit the third rail again, but then it's going to spin into pretty much 5 out of every 8 young men in America are now going to be suspect of snapping.
Thank you, Hillary. Appreciate your reporting there. Now to more on the profile of this reclusive shooter and why he did it. Police say they are looking closely at the entire life of 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. He has been described as just a normal guy, a successful real estate investor and gambler, a multimillionaire, a wealthy retiree. He didn't fit the mass shooter profile. Let's take this to psychiatrist and author Dr. Keith Ablow. Doctor, what do you think of the news that he was moaning and groaning in his bed, according to his girlfriend?
Yeah, no, you nailed it, because we both caught that this was something new. This is a new story, and everyone's analyzing it. And for them to even briefly touch on the drug industry in cable news, which is very, very, very dangerous, although you're only talking about one particular drug. But now we've got, okay, we've got the moaning and groaning. This is good news.
Well, Liz, I think that this information continues to contribute to the potential theory that really what motivated Stephen Paddock may have been an underlying degree of something on the autistic spectrum, Asperger's syndrome, wherein, he's suffering, but suffering silently. He doesn't know how to share his incredible growing rage, his sense of desperation. He's a tremendously organized fellow. We get that from a number of sources. He's having his girlfriend stand away from him sometimes when he uses the video poker machines. It's video poker. It isn't around a table where somebody bluffing is often something you intuit.
I was reading the statistics about video poker. Yeah. You pretty much can win about, I think, what are the odds? You have 99% that you can win back, but the casino always has that 1%, which goes back to my thesis about money laundering. It's a perfect way to do it.
Oh, yeah, whitewashing.
Even if you get 80% of your money back, who cares?
He's not a man necessarily, it doesn't seem like it, who's got an emotional connection with folks. It's all about rigidity, obsessiveness. If he has a Facebook account, which I've heard it's very limited. There's not much happening in his social world because he's so limited. That's the kind of crucible in which somebody can become more and more and more enraged. He even wears gloves, supposedly, when he's driving. Now, what's remarkable...
Ooh, I think you might be a glove wearer when you're driving.
I'm not, but I could be.
Yeah, my mom used to put on gloves to drive. Yeah. Like the fingerless gloves, half the fingers. That was,
That people would say, yeah, he seemed like a normal guy. What's normal about somebody who doesn't greet his neighbors when they say hello to him and wave?
Again, I'm looking at you, John. I have a feeling you don't say you're not friendly to your neighbors.
I'm very friendly to my neighbors. I don't know what you're coming from, but I do know neighbors who never say. We have some Chinese across the street. Yeah. It's taken over a year for the guy to acknowledge my house is here.
Yeah, right. Now
it's not that unusual.
Okay, but we're getting closer to his point.
Hello to him and wave, nothing back often. Wearing gloves to drive, moaning in bed. Who moves close to a city in Las Vegas, close to Las Vegas, in order to play video poker, and his brother's like, well, he seemed normal to me. He did?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Doctor, did other mass shooters exhibit the similar behaviors of Asperger's syndrome, as you point out?
He did not. He did not use the word Asperger's. He did not say that. She just.
Oh, you caught one.
She just read the next line, as you just pointed out. Asperger's. Because this is what he's saying. Completely OCD.
No, you're right.
Never used the word Asperger's.
He did?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Doctor, did other mass shooters exhibit the similar behaviors of Asperger's syndrome?
He said the autism spectrum, but that's a severe end of the spectrum.
As you point out?
Absolutely. You just go to Aurora, Colorado. You go to Sandy Hook, you see folks with the same kind of oddities, even going back to Dylan Klebold and others. These folks who seem socially ill at ease, quite obsessive, perhaps on the spectrum. It's interesting, Liz, and I'm not saying this is a fait accompli. I'm raising the question. You know, we've seen Asperger's disorder and autism spectrum disorders, they keep changing the names, ratchet up, right? People are like, why? Why do these things keep going up? What do we also see going up? Mass shootings going up. Now, I'm not saying the two things are one, but really, shouldn't we look at it and wonder whether internally some tiny minority of folks on the spectrum become increasingly frustrated and enraged? Why can't I participate? Yeah. Why can't I feel alive at a concert? Right? And then terrible things can happen.
That was Fox Business.
Okay, Fox Business just as bad.
But let me just say,
they get these guys that can't get good guests. There's too many opportunities. Nobody wants to be a guest on these shows, and so you're dragging any old guy that just kind of sounds good when he's yakking away about one thing or another.
Here's how I.
Why do you blame it on diabetes?
Well, stand back. Here's how I interpret it. We were going towards the drug angle. No, we got to steer away from that because look, what do we see with all these mass shooters besides that they're white? What do we see? We see that they're all on the spectrum, and I guess Asperger's in the lower end of the spectrum, and high functioning is the other end. And this fits neatly into the expanded background checks we're going to receive. You have a diagnosis on the spectrum, which is 5 out of every 8 boys now in America. You're screwed.
I would take it to a different point. I mean, I like the idea of selling more drugs. But I think the whole thing is, especially with them bringing in Valium and yakking about it, is another reason to refuse to allow people to buy guns.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is. Did you not hear what I said?
I heard you said, but you didn't say guns.
But you interrupted me, and I let you.
Well, I said guns. I beat you to it.
That's what pisses me off. So yes, no guns for you, and then right after that, we don't think you should live within 1,000 yards of a school.
You'd be like a sex offender.
Yeah, yes, you have to register. That's the war on crazy. How many times have we said it? It's the war on crazy.
That's all we talk about. We've talked about this a million times.
And we're right.
It appears so. Especially when you have a situation where this guy's just a patsy. And the first guy that said this to me was actually one of my liberal friends who called me up. I won't say who it is. Called me up and says, he says, I can't talk to any of my friends about this. But I think this guy was a patsy. And I found it more interesting that he couldn't talk to anybody but me.
Yeah.
Because I would, accept to at least listen to him.
Yeah, no, that is not the conversation you're supposed to be having.
So let's play this last psych rundown again. Now, this is the other ones were on NBC. This is the ABC, and it's a little longer. It's got a few more details, but again, it leads me to conclude that this guy didn't do anything.
And also tonight, what was written on a note found in the gunman's hotel room, as we also learned just how much the gunman made in those casinos in the days before the attack, and the millions he made in just 1 year. Here's ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
What did they find?
Oh, you didn't.
A note?
There's two things. This note, nobody talks about. ABC does.
I thought it was a goat.
The other thing it's cute. The other thing you've heard all these clips I've heard your clips. Nobody brings up this IRS agent ever.
That's good, isn't it?
Chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross.
She just returned to the U.S. from the Philippines 2 days ago. But tonight, federal authorities have put a close watch on Mary Lou Danley to make sure she doesn't try to leave the country as they struggle to find the motive behind her boyfriend's crime.
We have no credible information to report to you as to motivation.
FBI agents and police say they are skeptical of her claims that she knew nothing about the plans of her longtime boyfriend, Stephen Paddock. But a family friend who visited them in Nevada says that could well be true, that she was subservient to him.
It's not what I saw as a loving, caring relationship.
Adam Lefevre told an Australian TV station he spent a week with the couple in Nevada in 2015, staying with them in a luxury luxury casino suite, and later at Paddock's home, where Paddock showed off what he called his gun room.
He was very strict and very firm on the fact that it is a right, it is a capacity, and it's the freedom of every American resident and person to participate, to own a gun and use it as seen fit where need be, and that law should never be changed.
Late today, authorities confirmed reports the shooter left behind some kind of a note, which authorities say contained a series of cryptic numbers, but was not a suicide note. Officials are tracking every aspect of Paddock's life, back to high school in Los Angeles and earlier, and his recent prescriptions for Valium.
We are looking at every aspect from birth to death of this suspect in this case.
In the final days before the shooting, officials tell ABC News Paddock was seen in the company of prostitutes and went gambling in the Mandalay Bay Casino, winning big jackpots on both Friday and Saturday nights.
And Brian back with us tonight. And Brian, you were telling us that Stephen Paddock called himself a professional gambler, and you're learning just how much he made in 1 year alone.
Yes, David. In the year 2015, he reported income of $5 million.
$5 million. And no motive. That's right. Brian, thanks. I hope.
I was, at any moment, I'm expecting to say, and he was a day trader. I mean, that would be just make it complete. You know?
I mean, how do you make $5 million playing video poker? No, I don't
Space
think
trucking,
so.
bud. Streaming some hauling of atmospheric processors, crop harvesters, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, he's got tendonitis in his right hand.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, man. Well,
you know, this guy's just being set up. And I mean, Rick, you know, he's up, he makes lots of money, he's all this stuff's going on. Somebody murdered him and then shot up the place.
You're getting muted, bud. Sorry.
I even though you think it's not going to be that big, I really think there's going to be a lot of legislation that's going to be introduced, and this is going to be used over and over again. And concerts, forget about it. You know, there were people selling their tickets. This 2 weekends, this weekend and next weekend is Austin City Limits Live, which is a big concert. You know, Jay-Z was here.
Are you guys doing the combat
Friday
goal?
night, I think.
I think he is.
In Zilker
I'm
Park.
just out here
And
running.
people were like, they were selling their tickets, didn't want to go anymore. They were afraid.
Oh, the public is pathetic.
I'm going to get me to 10% today, I think, on this CG.
And with that...
Well, no, before you do that, since you brought this up, and I want to tease it, I do want to play what I think where this is headed. I don't think it's going to be headed all kinds of legislation. I think it's more along the lines of this very strong attempt to pass the... and they're using it as a way to get
that's the thing. CGs are the best way to make money.
Don't let it go
well, not really, I guess.
Never let a good tragedy go to waste.
They're a way to make money.
I think the direction the way they're going to milk this one is going to be this clip, which is
Australia,
the domestic terrorism trip. No, Australia later.
Okay.
Domestic
is not being called terrorism, and some say it's time to change the law. Jim Axelrod has more on that.
We just brought this up the other day. This is great.
Right now, I'm hauling 330 units per trip.
I can haul. It is time for a variety
I just shot an anaconda out of the sky with my fucking BB Scout.
There's a criminal statute for international terrorism, but not domestic.
How you doing this morning? How was your reunion?
It was good. Just to let you know, I'm streaming right now.
It's time that
Oh, are you?
changed.
Yeah,
right on.
hauling cargo.
So everybody got my dogs barking. Sorry, folks.
Or at the direction of a foreign terrorist.
All right, I will be right back.
With no specific
I will
penalties
mute
on
this
the
time.
books for
Departure handover.
Mass killers
I'm an eye Karen agent in the combat
face
line.
charges of using a weapon of mass destruction.
Now, let me see if I can get up a couple of tiers and I'll join you in my fertile lands.
Murder and weapons charges.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Basically, I wasn't making a lot of money there. I got to the 50% mark. I figured that was pretty good. Came over here, I'm already at the 75% mark, and it's like 6.8 million in that
Significance of this type of a crime and why
I've
it's
already
important for it to
surpassed
be
what I
looked
did in
at and
cargo.
treated for what it is, which is terrorism. It's a crime.
Yeah, see you shortly. Welcome, folks, to the stream.
Federal domestic terror law would also mean FBI-led investigations and the creation of deeper, wider databases to keep track of mass violence. Of course, there is a potential problem. Labeling domestic hate groups as terrorists like Al-Qaeda or ISIS raises constitutional questions.
That starts to get very close to the line of potentially infringing on
So what do you have this whole
freedom to associate and express one's views, however abhorrent they may be to others within the population.
Yeah. right?
During the
Ownership on
administration, the Justice
sticks.
Department considered creating a domestic terrorism statute. We asked the Trump DOJ if it's continuing the work. The spokesman declined comment.
Jim Axelrod, thanks, Jim.
A question for you. Isn't this exactly what I was saying? You just proved it. Here comes laws.
Yeah, but I did prove it, but I think what I was proving was the thing you said last show, which is the type of law. I mean, when you say here comes laws, I think immediately after a big shooting, the first thing you think of is anti-gun laws.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I don't see any anti-gun laws coming down any pike.
No.
And in fact, there's a pro-gun piece that was done on one of these network news shows that I thought was kind of off.
There were several. Even the Washington Post had a piece that said removing guns doesn't change anything. No laws will help.
Right.
But I'm happy that at least we're going to. Because we've already been doing it, let's at least redefine the word terrorism so that we all agree on it, which is just going to be something new.
Yeah, but the problem, of course, is they mentioned Timothy McVeigh, they mentioned this guy and that guy, and they mentioned all these different guys.
White guys.
And who've all been always guys, white men, and they've already either been hung, or they're going to be hung, or they're going to be in jail for the rest of their lives. In other words, the report is flawed in that the laws on the books have already taken care of these problems. It's not as though people are getting away with terrorism and shooting up the place.
Right.
And the guy in Vegas is dead if it was him. So the point is they're trying to redefine terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the definition, which I think was legitimate. And taking the political aspect out of it.
Yes.
And just, you terrorize somebody. That bullying is terrorism then, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Any sort of, screaming at somebody is terrorism. Yelling at your wife is terrorism.
Angry face bag post, terrorism.
Well, there you go. That would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But you have all this nonsense, and then you also bring in the police state aspect. This is just a continuation, a furtherance of the police state that we already have.
Yep.
Because the laws have done a fine job of taking care of these situations, and there's no reason. This woman, she goes on with her argument that it's good to know that this is terrorism. Well, it's not really terrorism by the real definition.
Right.
And people have been punished. So what more do you want? I mean, you don't think we have enough laws that pile on some poor guy who jaywalks, but they say there's a million other laws. Stepped off the curb with the wrong foot. He didn't pay attention to the lights. So you put down 30 charges against some jaywalker, so you can make him change his do a plea deal. Well, we'll drop 20 of these charges, and we'll just give you this charge and a suspended sentence if you give us some money. It's a corrupt system. This woman is not helping.
No. But once you change the basic definition, as you already said, once you change the basic definition of terrorism, then there's lots of terrorism-related laws on the books.
Yeah, if it just has anything to do with terrorizing somebody.
Yes.
A bully is a terrorist by this definition in a school.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get into some fun stuff.
Oh, yeah, well, it's always going to be fun stuff with these creeps running things.
Well, we are here to protect everyone's sanity. Mainly our own.
It's me, Captain Spade.
And with that, I would like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, John C. What SC stands for could be a patsy, Dvorak.
In the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. In the morning to all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, and subs in the water.
Yes, in the morning to everybody in the chat room, noagendastream.com. A little more signal-to-noise ratio would be appreciated. And in the morning to Martin JJ, who once again came through with a fabulous piece of art. It was the iconic Welcome to Las Vegas sign, which had Welcome to Fabulous No Agenda. Curry and Dvorak was well done, fit perfectly, didn't have too much blood and gore. It just had it was just right, we felt.
It had zip.
Zip. It had zip, yes. We appreciate that, Martin JJ, and all of our artists who upload diligently, sometimes during the show, to noagendaartgenerator.com. Thank you so much. Every show, I should say. Now, in our value for value model, I felt a little gypped this week. Because I know you and I both worked really hard, watched a lot of bull. I watched so much C-SPAN, which I have a report on later. That, you know, the value for value works two ways, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think it's a message they don't. The public did not like our group, our public, which is tens of thousands at minimum.
Yeah.
Did not like our report on the Vegas thing. They didn't like what we had to say, I guess, because we got almost no donations. We got like 35 people total that donated about $50, and only 2 associate executive producers. And that to me
Hey, Captain Spade, today we're space trucking,
maybe shouldn't go in,
and then later we're going to do some combat here.
Things.
I guess.
But for now, we're hauling crop harvesters.
Network analysis.
That's maybe better.
Let's talk about our one executive producer and our one associate executive producer. And I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to start with the associate executive producer, Gerald Lyons, who says we'll send email from #dadbod at something.com for show on 10/8/2017. I have no such mail from that email address from anyone named Gerald or anyone named Lyons.
Well, I think I do have the hashtag. Yes, I do. But I have his email. It's not his name. Maybe he doesn't want his name to be known.
Well, he's on here and he never said anything about anonymous unless it's in that note, which is dumb.
I'm going to read this.
I don't think it is.
I'll just read it.
Okay.
In the morning, gentlemen, thank you for all you do. Both of you are great patriots and provide a much-needed service. I request a de-douching. Is that right?
You've been de-douched.
And jobs karma for a promotion applied for, and an LGY. Also, like a quick shout out to my smoking hot wife, Lindsay, my son, Tiberius, and some general karma to my Instagram family who also listen to the show. That would be Black Knight Sir Kalashnikov. He has a whole list here. I'll do them. At Mr. Brockman, at This Charming Dad, at Major
Space
Fitness,
Pirates, Captain Spade. Going after Space Pirates for big money.
Central, at Ruiner AR-15, and at DC a chain in. And
whoa,
any
too high.
Out there. Thank you, sirs. Please keep up the great work. We need you, respectfully. So I can give him that. What did he want here again? Deducing jobs karma, and I'll do a MILF thing.
That's one mother I'd like to.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. Yay!
You've got karma.
There we go.
Okay, so we have, and that's he's $200. He's our associate executive producer. Richard Bangs is $300, and he's executive producer. He sent in a long email, which has, for your information, NJNK.
Nice.
So you don't have to dig up anything. Right. He does say that cancer karma worked.
Oh,
his mom just beat breast cancer.
Right. Nice.
All right, so here's now I can't read this whole note because a lot of it's just like random ramblings about wine. I'm a couple of shows behind, so but you've been putting out fires, and one of the good, it's got a little icon, a little emoji. I'm one of the good millennials, 1983 birthday. So I keep it, and he's got keep it 100%. He's got another emoji.
Wow, it's 100% emoji, yeah.
I love bragging that I produce a podcast, which is you do. I always use this throwaway. Well, that's not true. It's technically the best podcast in the universe. The other millennials, I contend even the majority of good millennials, are douches as well. They get so jealous of him. Yeah. Living in D.C. is crazy. People are the biggest dicks as neighbors, yet some Looney Tune goes nuts, and all of a sudden there are all kinds of anti-Trump, anti-freedom signage, including love Trump's hate, ban assault weapons. Everyone is welcome. No more Sandy Hook.
Oh, you know what? Since we're on the topic, I have a short clip regarding that because he brought it up. We didn't bring it up. He brought it up. It's a recording in a UNLV class where the teacher blames Trump for the shooting. You want to hear that?
Oh, yes.
I did a lot of work on the filtering. It's still, you got to just kind of focus on it.
Oh, somebody just recorded off their phone or something?
Of course, yeah. I really tried to get it. Let's see if it works.
He's threatened to nuclear violence against North Korea and other places. And words, especially if they're coming from someone who is president, have consequences. Right when he got elected, I told my class this 3 semesters ago.
Can you hear it at all?
I could hear you play a little longer, and then I'll cut it off.
It's only 20 more seconds. So.
Some of us won't be affected by this presidency, but others are going to die. Other people will die because of this. And we've seen this happen, right? I mean, I don't know that these events would have inevitably.
No, I don't think you can hear it.
Well, I heard that a lot of people are going to die because of this president.
Yeah, so she had said at the beginning of the beginning of the year, but when Trump was elected, some people will die because of this president. And what she says, and you can see the video, it has the subtitles. And she says, well, there you go, because he incited violence, some people take it to heart, so this is what happens, and it's Trump's fault. And that's in class. That's in class.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what goes on. Yeah. Welcome to the education system of the United States. Anyway, he goes on and says, no more Sandy Hook. They think that there's some social justice warrior. He's some social justice pick up your dog shit. She's making a comment about they talk a big game, but they won't pick up the dog crap.
Right.
You don't have to read this if you don't want to. But however, I bet a few listeners would be interested. Now, John, you suck at reading these notes, so I'm calling in Adam to get this done for me.
What?
I don't know. My dilemma, by no means well off. I'd like to spend some money on good wine. Now he goes into a wine discussion, and I'm going to point something out that I don't think a lot of people are too aware of the. His wife doesn't drink, and he wants to have some wine once in a while. He needs some recommendations for $300 cases. When I recommend a wine on this show or any place else, or in a column, or usually a tweet, this wine is not going to be around long, and they don't make more of it. The thing, some people for some reason think of wine as a commodity. So you go out and you buy this wine and you like it, so you go buy some more, and you decide for the rest of your life you're going to buy this wine. I can assure you that this wine is available once, especially Bordeaux is good wines. In fact, good California wines are the same way. A 2012 Leo Villascos comes out, they make X amount of it, they ship it out, it gets bought up, it's done. Now it's something else. It's a different year. It's a different wine. And for some reason, a lot of people, and I believe Richard here is one of them, who actually believes that, or thinks it's possible, because he says I recommended some Los Vascos Grand Reserve 2012 and love.
Yes, as one does, of course.
Well, that was a really tasty wine. And I think it was at Costco. And it would be at Costco for about 2 weeks. And then it would sell out, and then there'd be something else, because these wines are all limited production. They make them once. It's called a vintage, and they make a pile of wine, and they ship it out, and then they make a new pile of wine. And you got to, so you have to move fast. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay,
well,
let's
it is a little-known
sell.
fact, but I learned this Friday evening. The keeper and I had dinner with Sir Gene here in Austin. And he says, I send text messages to John and emails all the time and never get an answer.
Right
but
on.
I found out if you send him a message and include a picture of a bottle of wine, you get an immediate response.
Yes, he sent, he's showing off. He sent me a picture of a bottle of Chateau Montrose 2008.
You had a classic response.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I told him he's drinking it too young, I think is what I said.
I hate to say it, but you should have had this in 2 years from now. Big mistake, loser. I think that's what you said.
I did not say big mistake, loser. But I did tell him that it was, I almost sent him a picture back of another bottle of Montrose, which I
This
had
is the next one we're going to do. This is a shooting one here. Secret Billionaires Campaign.
Fantastic. But
sharp increase in criminals operating the system.
He did comment back one more time saying, yeah, the wine was probably not ready
We're
to drink.
supposed to go there and restore order by shooting pirates.
That's not a cheap wine.
Right.
He's like this big
Pirate
spender to be
cleanup.
buying Montrose at a restaurant.
And right now we're helping out.
I wouldn't do it.
No.
Anyway. So that's it.
These
Anyway,
folks
these are 2 guys.
by hauling crop harvest. We're going to do a few more of these crop harvester ones, folks, and then we'll do the combat when John gets back.
And that's all we got. So I want to thank those two for producing this show.
Yes.
Open Galaxy map.
And there will be more people to thank, but not a lot coming in, $50 or more in our second donation segment. And
drops off.
And we take your message to heart, so we understand what you're saying. And we do have a show coming up on Thursday.
Dvorak.org/NA.
I promise you, we will do the best we can. And you do the same. Propagating the formula.
formula is this.
Nobody knows how many legs Thargoids have, Captain Spade. Nobody's ever seen one. We've only seen their ships. I think. I bet you they got more than 4 legs, though. Maybe they have tentacles. Or protuberances.
I did want to mention, you know, a couple weeks ago I got all jacked up about IMAX. Because we have this Bullock Museum in Austin.
Ooh.
Where they have a small theater, only two people, I think. Beautiful, great sound, just fantastic. The people are rarely there.
Away we go.
I mean, it wasn't even full. It never is completely full. They used to not serve any beverages or food. Now they only serve soft drinks and popcorn and no alcohol. So people don't want to go there.
Really?
Yes, really.
Not that many theaters I ever go to that serve booze.
Well, in Austin, it's, you know, Alamo Draft House. It's really culture here to eat and drink during the, it's just set up that way. It's a restaurant in a movie theater.
Yeah, we have one place like that in El Cerrito, called the El Cerrito, and it looks like it's a new theater. It's very small, it seems. When you go in there, it's all tables.
Yeah, right. So this is just a regular old movie theater, but it's IMAX, and it's just the way you want to. And whenever the camera tilts, you really feel like you're going along with it. Now, so I'm all jacked up because we saw Kingsman there. Like, one of my favorite movies that I remember as a kid, it's now more than 30 years ago, was Blade Runner. Let's go see Blade Runner. Okay, yeah. And this is our big Saturday night, you know, woo, because I got to do prep, so we're going to have a great time. Before the movie, and they also have no ads or anything and no previews, which is nice because it's a museum. I guess they don't have to make profit that way. And they show pieces of the old Blade Runner, and I'm sitting to Tina and said, you didn't see it, but, you know, it's kind of good because I guess it was kind of boring. Yeah, it kind of sucked maybe, I don't know. Then the new Blade Runner.
And I'm back.
Like almost a 3-hour movie. John, I wanted to shoot myself. This is the worst piece of crap I've ever seen.
Cards working, no problem.
Why? People are raving about it.
Oh, it's shit. It's so slow.
He is aware you're streaming as well.
Some dialogue. I am Ryan Gosling.
He's gonna pop on here.
How are you? I mean, that's it. Harrison Ford doesn't show up for almost 2 hours. Oh. Now, it was, did they do the director's cut or something? Like someone did, if you could have made this an hour-and-a-half movie, and it would have been pretty good. Because I'd be falling asleep, and all of a sudden, action. Oh, okay, there's some action. And then it was back to slow, big dramatic music. Just dumb.
Now you got my curiosity piqued.
Go for it.
Or tweaked. Let's take a look. I was going to do this.
I hated it. I really
I think we've all gotten. I know you're using that word a lot. We've all gotten the impression it'd be nice if I had my keyboard. There it is.
I may repeat my words, but at least I know where my keyboard is.
Yeah, well, I don't have it on the.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have both my headphones in. Rusty's cards working
let's
good.
Go to Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, right on.
Okay.
Yeah, fired right up. So he's coming on right now too. He should be joining voice shortly.
We can get some clips from the film.
I'm gonna send.
We don't have enough time for those clips.
You guys
they take 8 minutes for one scene.
For one guy to say hi.
Yeah.
Blade Runner got it.
Sure, man.
Blade Runner 2049.
Doug figured out why we couldn't see each other. Roll gave me the hint. You go into options, and once you're in a wing, you put in enable wing beacon
from the experts, and the audience gave it an 84.
That means they
liked it. Was he AFK? He might be AFK.
Lots.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think it might be.
All right. It was like
so you were either in a bad mood.
No, not at all.
Or these
so
people
you're gonna bring your Fer-de-Lance over, or you still running cargo?
I'm gonna run 2 more runs, and then I'll change ships.
So that's probably
I'm just picking.
Back give you over 1,000 then.
Or maybe they're just supposed to like it. But
I'm over 1,000 already.
That's the right thing to say. I don't know.
Okay, let me know what mark
did you go see Kingsman?
To get to.
I just said that.
1,400.
I love Kingsman.
Well, you just said you went to see
25%?
50.
Cut off the Kingsman.
Oh no, I'm at 1,000.
We talked about Kingsman 2 weeks ago.
I want you.
Well, it goes up,
but not when I had tomatoes open. What did you think?
I told you I thought it was one of the best movies I've seen. I loved it. It was fantastic. And you like it. You saw it, didn't you?
I saw the original. I haven't seen this.
Oh, you'll love the Kingsman.
Okay, this is why
And we
I
did
wanted to
all of it.
reiterate. Don't condemn me for asking this.
Actually,
same
I'll just do
question
the one
twice
more
when I
cargo
have
round and I'll
tomatoes
change
open.
ships.
50%. It got a tomato
If you get to
splat.
25%, let me know. I'll run back there and run another 1,000.
But the giveaway.
Well, then let me do 2 runs because
if
it'll
I see
be.
the low number.
Yeah, if you hit 2,000 and it changes, let me know. If not, because I think it's going to be 3,500 to get into the 25%
I always think that's a good
mark,
sign.
to be honest with you.
Just my
and that would take me all day.
Opinion of things when the critics, are mixed and then the audience loves it. It's usually entertaining. It's probably
already hit tier 7.
This guy's trying to interdict me? Really?
Than Blade Runner.
Well, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
Power to weapons.
So I'm gonna have to go see both these movies and give my opinion. Okay. I don't like slow-moving movies.
No.
So.
I can watch long.
Oh, is it an ASP Explorer? Are you fucking serious, you dummy?
So
it was like.
Oh, he's gonna die.
Cinematographic.
Thank you. Cinematographic Marvel or something? No, it wasn't all that great.
Shield's done.
It was okay. It was okay. The sets were easy. A bunch of sand everywhere.
How about this? Maybe the movie
and a lot of advertising in the
50%.
movie. Sony, Seiko,
40.
Peugeot, just tons of placement everywhere.
Yeah. Is it possible that people were liking this movie because it was nostalgic and the other movie didn't?
He's trying to run and
could be
space dead.
Yeah, could be. There was definitely resolution.
Do it quick.
I saw the original Blade. It was Rutger Hauer, Dutch guy. I like.
Did you get dummy?
Here's the space
Retract hard
movie
points.
that I'm looking for. Pence announced this.
It is my great honor to be with you today.
Sometimes they learn too late.
They did a great job here.
It's like ASP Explorer and an Anaconda. Are you dumb?
Meeting of the reconstituted National Space Council. In his inaugural address, the president dedicated America once again to lead in the heavens, and in his words, to unlock the mysteries of space.
By the way, I made an honest
American space leadership, President Trump relaunched the National Space Council, and it is my great honor to have the opportunity to serve as its chair at the first meeting in nearly
Okay, 2 runs, because that'll get me over 2,000, and then I'll change out ships.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick home delivery that they sent me to my mail instead of the
benefit every facet of our national life, strengthen our economy as we unlock new opportunities, new technologies,
and new Somerset Station.
Will inspire our children to seek education in science, technology, engineering, and math. Will enhance our defense and advance the security of our citizens. But most of all, we will renew the American spirit itself and rekindle our belief in America to accomplish anything.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
And this is an Space Council. It's like we're blasting off and going to change the world. Why are the nerd boys not loving this?
Because they're wearing pussy hats.
Contact directly.
Trump. He does no good.
Trump's an asshole. They don't like him.
You think people
By the way, I'm just gonna. I don't want to belabor the point, but looking at just some of the reviews of the Blade Runner, I'm gonna read 2 of them to you and tell me if you agree with either one. These are negative reviews. One from the Christian Science Monitor, and the guy says Blade Runner 2049 is heavy with portentous and pretentious hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
The other one says, though the film dazzles us with its haunting, beautiful images,
I tell you, I
it
looked it
disappoints
up,
with its lack of substance.
How to recalibrate my joystick that's never supposed to be recalibrated.
It's slow. It's
Get a
just
quick
slow.
Windows calibrate on center on the stick. What a difference now. It's as smooth as yours.
Maybe. I'm not going to read all the review.
And it is the same
package.
Graphics of joystick
that's what people have been saying.
Whatever joystick you use.
Oh man,
it doesn't change it.
I swung
and it
both
doesn't
doors
like
open
the pilot doesn't hit all the buttons exactly like he does in yours, but
Friday,
very close.
Remarkably, the Senate Intelligence Committee gave us an update, which was not really
I'm
shown.
stunned that you got this because I watched this and said, "Holy crap, these guys are jerks."
Yeah. Well, and I kind of got it from. I have 2 different takes on it. So they gave an update on their Russia collusion investigation, and I was first alerted to it. But I saw it come through on C-SPAN. The audio is great to hear, but then I heard this NPR report, which had I'm just going to play this because,
I'm going to send you
kind of
another
represents
wing request.
What they said in their update on a Friday. Who does an update on a Friday?
Roll taught me something yesterday,
or
2 days ago. The reason we couldn't see each other very well is you got to put your wing nav beacon on. It's in the options in the comm menu there.
NPR's version of the report.
Since it opened its investigation in January, the committee has been trying to uncover and understand Russia's influence operation.
I just want to say January. That's now 10. We're now 10th month of this investigation.
One of the key questions: did the Trump campaign coordinate with Russia? On that, the committee's Republican chairman, Senator Richard Burr, would only offer this.
The committee continues to look into all evidence to see if there was any hint of collusion. Now, I'm not going to even discuss initial findings because we haven't any.
Burr did say, however, that the committee agrees with the report that U.S. intelligence agencies released in January accusing Russia of interfering in the election. He also offered a big picture view of Moscow's capabilities and the threat they pose to future American elections.
What I will confirm is that the Russian intelligence service is determined, clever, and I recommend that every campaign and every election official take this very seriously as we move into this November's election and as we move into preparation for the 2018 election.
Standing next to Burr in a packed Senate press conference, the committee's top Democrat, Senator Mark Warner, zeroed in on social media companies like Facebook and Twitter. The companies have faced intense public scrutiny in recent weeks over Russia's use of their platforms to influence Americans, particularly on divisive topics like race and immigration.
I was concerned at first
there you are. I have important information for you. Where are you?
Did not take this threat seriously enough. I believe they are recognizing that threat now.
Facebook handed over copies of 3,000 Russia-linked ads to the committee this week, and Warner said the social media giants are generally cooperating with the inquiry. Investigators want to determine who paid for those ads and other ads, and whether they targeted certain states or regions. They also want to find out whether Russian bots artificially amplified political conversations on Twitter. The committee has invited Twitter, Facebook, and Google to an open hearing early next month.
It won't surprise you that this report is disingenuous. But it also omits a lot of details that I think the public likes to know, is interested in, and it could only the only reason why they don't put that in there, I guess, is they don't have enough time to do it.
They don't want to do it.
Oh, okay, that would be it.
Above whose name?
I pulled a number of clips, and I thought it was quite interesting.
But symbols they do when you're in combat, so I can tell what contact you have selected. So I found that out last night when I was with Thunder Cougar Falconbird. We were doing missions together. I can see what contact he has or what target he has selected. So I would know if you have the target selected or if Roll has it selected by the different symbol.
The vast majority of us turn to for information, for news, in a way
I just found that out last night.
Very different. If you look, for example, in the realm
bonus to having lots of buddies that play this game, because this is a play with your buddies game, because there's a lot of info to digest.
In the use of digital political advertising between 2012
more so
and
than the other one we were playing.
The expectation is that may double or triple again in terms of the next election cycle because of the ability to so target voters. I was concerned at first that some of these social media platform companies did not take this threat seriously.
They improved the sky. The stars look better.
Recognizing that threat now,
it's beautiful.
Information. That the three companies that we've invited, Google, Twitter, and Facebook, will appear in a public hearing so that Americans can again hear both about how we're going to protect, I would argue, three areas. One, making sure that if you see an ad that appears on a social media site, that Americans can know whether the source of that ad was generated by foreign entities. Two, to make sure that if you see a story that is trending,
delivered to Mulling,
popular, whether that trending is because a series of Americans are liking that story or liking that particular page, or that's generated by real individuals, or whether that's generated by bots, or in some cases it may be falsely identified accounts. For example, Facebook has indicated between 30 and 50,000 such accounts were taken down in France because due to Russian influence. And so just the notion that
318,000 seconds away.
Both of us have been in politics a long time. If you have somebody wanting,
I was thinking that line in Black Hawk Down when he says that's my safety sergeant.
Be able to go down and take at least a look.
I'll worry about my speed. Thank you.
The same way that if ads are run for or against you on TV, radio, or newsprint, you can at least get a look at that content.
Notice his use of the word where he says, if ads are being run against you. So this 10 months now of investigating if there was collusion between, as the NPR report said in the beginning, there was collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians, is not even discussed anymore. Now we're talking about the hacking of the election and what that is, how it was done, and what it means, and what we're going to do about it. And almost every answer, it's about, as we've accurately predicted, it's about the upcoming upcoming election. That's why they're afraid. And I think they're afraid of something that they truly are afraid of, but it has nothing to do with Russia colluding.
And then I will be back at Somerset Station.
The ads. We want to see these ads. Wouldn't it be great if we saw these ads?
Here, this brings up the point, as this report of yours triggered immediately in me, is why can't we see the 3,000 ads?
I'm glad you asked that question.
I mean, I posted a bunch in the newsletter, but what?
Well, here
20?
Here's the answer. This question was posed by one of the journos.
Get out of my way. Fucking There's another one.
Documents provided to our committee. Period. You say it again. The Senate Intelligence Committee does not
Stupid orcas all over the place here.
By witnesses, companies,
out of my way.
Whatever the classification.
You know what? I should let this guy interdict me and shoot him, eh?
Yeah, why not?
Clearly, if any
unless he's tougher than you.
No, he's in a Viper Mark III. I'm in a Cobra Mark III.
We're fine with them doing it because we've already got scheduled our open hearing because we believe
it's more about their combat ranking, like if they're dangerous or elite or masters.
He's mostly
oh, fuck him up, buddy. Mess him up.
Well, now that I realize, remember how to target subsystems.
November 1st, we have invited the social media companies that Mark mentioned.
All integrity compromised my ass.
Open hearing, and we feel confident that they will take us up on it.
Too bad I don't have my kill warrant scanner on me.
Rather interesting to me. The social media companies are free to release that at will.
Pardon my French.
I think if I'm scanning targets in our wing, we all get the kill warrant info.
Yes, but they are not.
Oh, is that correct?
So they're not going to release them. That's not what they do. They don't release any documents. Back to the investigation. They've never released documents. Could be. I didn't.
Oh yeah, back in the day when you'd have to target a subsystem.
Can I keep saying journos, or is that dumb?
You know, it's a word that they've used amongst themselves.
That's why I
don't like it personally. I think it's insulting.
Yes.
So since it's insulting, you may go.
Well, I found when I was with Thunder Cougar Falconberg that if you target the power plant, that's what he was telling me to do. It just helps all around.
They don't care.
Yeah, it works. It works for Cobras and smaller ships.
Was there collusion?
Actually, he told me he's better on the bigger ships, especially like I took down an Anaconda with my scout this morning.
The Steele dossier. Unfortunately, the committee has hit a wall.
Oh boy, this does not have as good a slide as my scout.
On several occasions, made attempts to
he will die
contact Mr.
like a
Steele,
dog.
to meet with Mr. Steele.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had that map.
Personally, the vice chairman and myself, as two individuals, making that connection.
Beluga.
Those offers have gone unaccepted. The committee cannot really decide the credibility of the biatch without understanding.
Lock up, baby. Lock up.
Who paid for it? Who are your sources and subsources?
We're running like a wussy.
Expansive Russian network of interference in U.S. elections.
Whoa! And, like
though we
like a beam lasers to the face, Mets.
Enlightened at our ability to rebuild backwards the Steele dossier up to a certain date. getting past that point has been somewhat impossible. And I say this because I don't think we're going to find any intelligence products that unlock that key to pre-June of 16.
You don't say.
My hope is that Mr. Steele will make a decision.
Oh, were those your
to meet
shields?
with either Mark
That's
and I
too
or the
bad.
committee or both.
You're probably going
so
to need
we can
those
hear
too.
his side of it versus
now I'm going to hit
for
you
us
with
to depict
multi-cannons.
our findings, what his intent or what his actions were. And I say that to you, but I also say it to Chris Steele.
Come on now.
But how interesting
like
is
that.
that? This
Take
report,
your multi-cannon.
the guy refuses.
Are these multi-cannons
to
not
back up his
down the time code?
Okay, the guy refuses to back up his own work.
This is bogus. That's why.
But this is why isn't this being reported? This, I think, the Steele dossier is of importance.
Go back to balance.
It was reported on originally doing Corn. That guy who works for Mother Jones, rolled it out.
No, I know, but it's why exactly? Why are they not reporting that it's not going anywhere? Because the guy won't even back it up.
I can see them. It's old news.
No, too fast,
maybe.
too fast.
I don't know. They don't want to.
Well,
they don't want to.
They're going to do open hearings and
potential witnesses that we might ask to come in the future. I strongly suggest that you come in and speak with us. If we believe that you have something valuable to bring to the committee, if you
Is
don't
Super Lucky watching your stream?
Today, you will be compelled to do it.
I don't know.
I can compel you to
There's
come.
two
I can
people watching
compel
right
you
now.
to talk.
One of them is
making
me.
you talk. Yeah, Mr. Steele.
So I doubt it.
What are you on, Twitch?
Twitch,
The funny
YouTube,
thing is
Mixer.
They said they're going to get Twitter and Google.
Whatever your preference. Just check out Bitter Old Goons Gaming.
The way these companies operate, I think Google's perfected this.
I'm sure you appreciate a like and subscribe.
Oh, I sure would.
They're going to send. I don't know if all of them will, but I know Google
I don't think there's
and
multi-cannons
probably
in
Facebook,
Gimbal for
but
some reason.
Google for sure will send some stooge
Or he's just too
with
fast.
a really fancy title who knows nothing. And they'll be up there trying to, the way the company operates, we go and do shit and just saying blathering crap that's meaningless. This will be great.
It would be. It's October 25th. I've written it down. I'm very excited about this meeting. But notice how
He's texting me instead of being on goddamn Discord.
But notice how they say we have ways of making you talk, Mr. Steele, and then it's
learn to use Discord.
We've invited them.
If you're listening,
we hope they come to our little party.
My buddy. As soon as he learns how to play this game, he's gonna love it.
And at this point, it's very clear.
What's the Twitch?
The journos, they've
Bitter Old Goons Gaming.
And these guys, their direction is already determined. They're about the 2018 election and what regulations they can put on face bag,
ads.
Yeah, what restriction ads? Yes.
There, have some multi-cannons. How do you like that?
He makes the
Don't you
point
ram
to
me?
make it clear that it's an entity doing the advertising. As soon as he said that, I'm thinking, so we're gonna. So when Volkswagen advertises or Toyota advertises,
trying to influence
Bitter
the
Old
American public into
Goons
buying
Gaming.
cars that are bad for the environment.
when they advertise, he's going to have to make it very clear as a foreign entity.
Yeah.
And here's the counter argument to this. To me, is Facebook is not a United States product. It is an international product.
Okay, crop
that
harvesters.
appeals to everybody
this
around
is
the
way
world. They got
faster
way
than
more users. They got
Diamondback.
billions. We don't have that many people in the country. Most Facebook users are outside the country. And the same thing with Twitter, just to a lesser extent.
Although Facebook still has to answer the accusation that they are saying that their ads reach, I think it was like 100 million more 18 to 34-year-olds than are actually in America.
And away we go, last run.
Anyway, back to the ads. So, and again, these Burr and Warner, they're only interested in how can we make sure that if we're going to have crappy-ass ads against our people in the upcoming election, that we know about it in advance. And so, because that's what they're saying.
Making counter.
Yes.
I think if you look from 10,000 feet, the subject matter of the ads seems to have been to create chaos in every group that they could possibly identify in America. From a standpoint of any involvement, To have these folks in, ask them the questions.
Stupid orbital dynamics has put my nexus behind a planet.
Take advantage of some of the most technical targeting tools that exist within those social.
Okay,
I'm sorry. What happened to Cambridge Analytica and all this? Trump had the best data team, and they didn't even take advantage of buying, of using the tools that FaceBag and Google provide.
Media companies. Yeah. So I would defer answering your question until we've completed the investigation.
Let me just add that I believe, and I think you will see.
Definitely improve the ice rings now. They look like water.
Yeah, no, I was. I took some pictures, but I didn't post it yet. Of the rings that I'm quite nice.
Facebook in terms of what happened. I think they've got some more work to do. And I'm pleased to say I think they're out there.
All right, hard point subtracted.
Warner again, the same guy, just sucking up to him, just sucking up to him. Journos go back. Well, how about this? Was there collusion between the Trump campaign and the advertisers?
Are you pursuing the question of whether there's a link between the ads that appear on social media sites and the Trump campaign?
I don't want any of that shit.
Well, let me just say, I'll let Mark address it if he'd like to. If there was any connection, that would be pertinent to our investigation of Russia's influence in the elections.
All right. He didn't even touch me. The only damage that I got was from when he interdicted me, and that was it.
Those social media companies that have been in, some of them have been interviewed twice. At the end of the day, we'll be prepared to ask the right questions that may answer some of your questions at that open hearing.
So we also have to get the universe first. I was concerned on the front end.
He said to me, I specialize in taking people like you, Commander.
Was not a
those who take a contract and fail to complete it, I assure you I complete my contracts. Well, you can come away from the...
You're not going home to your family tonight, you son of a bitch.
That's right.
Hope you don't have kids. They're going to be upset.
I think
or maybe they won't be. Maybe he's a loser.
That their actions
he's a scummy pirate.
Need to match their public statements that they realize how important it is to maintain the integrity.
Oh, I'm excited. Fertilance time.
I got to tell you.
Oh, dude, I want to see it.
I think Zuckerberg might show up himself.
Oh, you're going to see it all right.
To the hearing himself. He's the only guy that can spin this story in the right way and throw out some technical jumbo.
How many jumps? 35 or something? 31?
I know exactly what you're saying, and I think you're probably
I don't know. You're only
right.
200 light years away, so.
But I would bet money, and I would do it right now. $5.
All right, $5 it is. Do you want to?
No, thank you for the follow. Was that you?
I can't give a name who's going to go up to because it's going to be someone I never heard of.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a Rick and Morty thing pop up.
He's going to get. He might even think the way you're thinking, and he'd be great up there.
Yeah.
And then he's going to have his lawyers and everybody at Facebook is too much risk. And they'll talk him out of it. So you'll never hear from him. It won't be Zuckerberg. You're going to owe me $5 at the end of the day.
Write it down.
Oh, yeah. I did.
What did these ads do? That question was answered.
You just noted that Facebook, they say 10 million people saw their ads. There was an information campaign waged against one candidate by the Russians. And of course, they probed 21 states, perhaps more, that we didn't catch. So can you definitively look at the American public and say that the election was not influenced in any way by this massive Russian operation?
Campaign targeted against one. We're looking at both campaigns.
Well, that's what the ICA is saying.
The ICA did not look at collusion of the campaigns. The ICA looked at Russian involvement in the election process. We're in agreement with that. We have
I'll have to try that combat since I can buy my ship
on
10 times over
now.
now.
Russia's preferences. If we
you might want to buy a ship there because there's nothing here.
That we have seen,
I don't even think there was a Viper Mark III here. Just the Cobra. But there's nothing wrong with the Cobra. It's just it doesn't turn as fast. It's more of a multi-purpose ship. You can do combat.
They were indiscriminate. One of the things that's most
I just want to shoot off my torpedoes and rockets.
Is with the exception of certain pieces that have already been discussed. it seems that the overall theme of the Russian involvement in the U.S. elections was to create chaos at every level. And
I've already made like 1.2 million.
9 months later, investigating it, they have been pretty darn successful.
Yeah.
Why is there a fucking nail thing?
Thanks to you and the mainstream media, you douchebags. Yes, they've been very, very successful. We finally got a little bit of interesting information about the people they've been interviewing from the Trump campaign. When you hear how open it's been, it's also a little creepy.
That we're very much in an exploratory mode, trying to piece together what people did, where they were, who they talked to.
Yeah, 2100 got me to top 25%.
Accessed email records, text messages, phone
2100 got you to 25%.
In most cases, we accessed. Okay,
so I need to run
email
1,000
messages,
more.
Text messages, phone calls, because that's how easy it is. You don't have to go later tapping anybody. You just call the NSA and say, we want this, this, and this, and there it is.
Thanksgiving is combat day.
Accessed email records, text messages, phone records voluntarily.
Oh wow! I can sell my fertile ads for 110 million.
Probably going to tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah. But the reason that we can't definitively answer some of the questions today is we will take everything that our
what system?
Staff has put into transcripts. Every piece of intelligence.
Open Galaxy Map.
Interviews that we've done.
So at this point, they're at the end. The journos are disgusted. They got nothing. Guy throws out, well, how about the Jared, man? Jared, the meeting, that was all collusion, wasn't it?
Is the Russian attorney going to come through? The Russian attorney met with Donald Trump Jr. She's offered to come in open committee. Have you reached out to her? Is she one of the 25 on your list?
How do you know we haven't already?
I didn't say you did.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. That was in the clip.
Is she one of the 25 on your list?
How do you know we haven't already?
I didn't say you did. I'm asking.
Thank you.
No, he says, how do you know we didn't already talk to her, douchebag? Yeah, nice one. So they have absolutely nothing. What they've discovered is, oh my gosh, people use Facebook to influence people's ideas and opinions, which is the nature of advertising. And all they are
is 300 grand in scanning on your way.
Elections. They want to be able to see what the opposition is doing on Facebook. They're afraid that they have some magic sauce. They know how to do it, whether it was Russia or not. They don't care about the election. They only care about the upcoming election. And this is
I think you've stumbled onto something.
They really don't want
here's the
go far with these things.
This is the crescendo conclusion.
Combat ships.
And it was kind of said in the press conference, but I'd rather
you're better off to
from
buy a
NPR,
scout.
Senator Klobuchar.
Buy the ship you want. Buy a scout.
Amy. I think she may be on the Intelligence Committee. She wraps it all up and explains what is going to happen.
Well, thanks, David. It's great to be on, and this is such a serious issue right now. When you think the 2018 election is only 397 days away. I knew you'd like to hear that, of course. But you think about our whole democracy is formed on the simple idea that we wanted to be self-governing, right? And we didn't want to have foreign governments influencing us. Well, now we've learned that $100,000 was spent in rubles for ads during the 2016 election. And we haven't seen those ads. We really want to see them. The public does. Intelligence officials have seen them. But we think they should be released to the public. And what our bill does, Senator Warner and I are working on this together. And
Democratic Warner, yeah.
Exactly. And so what it does, and we're looking at different thresholds that are actually lower than the one you get.
No agenda.
But what it does is it says when these things happen, you've got to register them. You have to put them out publicly when you buy a political ad.
My crappy internet
is
still
catching
up to
cat videos if the cat talks about Donald Trump. Or
citizens, don't worry about it. You can still post how much you hate the president and how much you love your cat. Don't worry, citizens. Just look over there.
In cat videos if the cat talks about Donald Trump or Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi.
You're not worried about the cat video?
No. What this is about is paid political advertising, just like broadcast or radio has. So if I buy as a campaign a TV ad or I buy a radio ad, then it has to be publicly registered when the ad aired, who bought it, how much they bought.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm really glad you brought up broadcasters, because are you basically saying that Facebook should be treated
straight up
a broadcaster? Is that where we are?
Paid ads, right?
Right.
Paid ads, not for just content people posting, not for news, but for paid ads.
You know what? I'm going to do a video in a cat suit. You just do all your political stuff in cat suit videos. That's the way to do it.
I wonder if you're worried at all that this is a slippery slope if you start regulating parts of the internet. I mean, the internet and freedom of the internet it feels so democratic in many ways.
Yeah.
The internet feels so democratic, John, in many ways. Don't you agree? It just feels so lusciously democratic.
This is not going to fly, but go on.
The internet. I mean, the internet and freedom of the internet it feels so democratic in many ways.
Yeah, that's what I was just waiting for that question. Because, of course, we are not regulating news postings.
Hey, you're still muted, my man. All you should have to do is unmute your mic at the bottom where your name is.
The Trump administration, and you do a video yourself and you put it up. None of that will
be. Good to have you here.
These are paid
Roll is streaming on YouTube.
Just like we see on TV when you see the disclaimer, I paid for this message.
I'm not sure.
That's what we're talking about, paid ads. But there are 1.4 billion. A lot of things you see on Facebook or Twitter or Google that maybe you don't think are paid, they are paid ads. And I think that people have a right to know when we have elections where so much dark money is being spent undercover, that we have a right to know what's being spent, and we as citizens have a right to know that we're not being duped.
Did you say, I want to make sure I understand you correctly, did you say that some of the financial burden for paying for this enforcement would be coming from the companies?
Johnny Ringo has it.
I come from the state of Target.
What's that? You're gonna have a whole fleet. Did you hear that in the next update here? There's gonna be you're gonna be able to make player factions.
You know, I think that these guys are able.
Yeah, and if you have a faction, you can have specific goals for it. And one of the ships you can get is
that say you can't have Nazi.
You can get a carrier, dude.
They are able to in the French election because they have different laws go through.
I know Crayola. That's what he wants because he doesn't want to deal with the navigation and shit.
They are able to do this in other countries.
So this is why I was talking about multi-role fighting and stuff. I know that you don't get as much bonuses for it, but some of the guys, it'll be a good training mission almost.
We have at these companies, they can do this.
But no, like for full-size ships.
Paid political ads, which is a subsection of the postings
they carrier for full-size ships.
That they don't violate our law, and all that we're asking them to do is register those political ads.
300 million.
You said it's not going to fly.
Start saving, boys.
Oh no, there's no way it's going to fly.
Oh, it would be a billion for sure.
One, of course, is the broadcasters aren't going to put up with it because it's too much work. You got to register these ads. You got to put the date and time you ran them. Some of these things are just run as as needed.
Fillers.
Yeah, you got some time at 3 in the morning. What are we going to do? Let's run this ad.
Algos do that.
And so you end up with like a lot of paperwork that you don't need, and then you have to decide whether it's a political ad or not a political ad. If you're bitching about the slow times on the BART stations and in the Bay Area, and you want them to put more cars in place, and you put an ad out, is that a political ad? And if it's not a political ad, if it is, then you have to go through a hassle, which nobody's going to put up with. So there's going to be a lot of pushback by the networks, and they don't put up with a lot of stuff. The other thing is if it is a political ad,
guys want to throw Crayola welcome text in case he's having mic issues.
The local problems. Well, all the ads that ran on Facebook were Secure Borders. This company, this company, Secure Border. Those ads weren't about who to vote for. No, they're all about building the walls.
Roll.
So it's like, this is a nightmare. That's not going to happen. These guys are so
I'm going to do the one
about this. And then they keep bringing up the ludicrous part. Oh, they spent $100,000, a whole $100,000 at twisted the election.
Why does this fuel tank so tiny? I have to. It's like half my tank every jump almost.
And this is what I think the problem is.
Oh, really? They've said that they changed that for combat ships so you can just jump everywhere.
I believe that this entire
you just have to filter by fuel stars.
Actually,
I still have a decent jump distance. A modified drive at 16 light years.
To sell things, and it actually works.
Yes,
I got to start doing some engineering stuff.
Yes, that's why they want to control it, because they think.
Oh, it's worth it, bro. No, Captain Spade, that's not a pirate, but we're gonna go fight pirates now. We're on our way. I'm in my pirate fighting ship.
I think they looked down there kind of funny.
You betcha.
It made anybody vote for it.
I think you nailed it. That's exactly holy crap. My war chest for this election is $1 million. That's 10 times what the Russians spent on throwing it to Trump.
For anybody that's out there, this EDDBIO is indispensable when you're playing this game.
Now, what this
I'm using the
stupidity.
What this has,
it's the naivety of actually brought the Silicon Valley arguments.
Well,
dude, go to YouTube.
Targets.
I think you will love this.
I just had to shut it down because I got me and the boy on right now. It's really killing my.
And this term is MADCOM.
Oh, that is a gorgeous ship.
Have you heard of this acronym yet? MADCOM?
Holy shit, is that
heard
pretty?
it, I think, but I don't know the
look
reference.
at it when it flies
Machine-driven communications. And
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, baby. This now the Atlantic Council is pushing this. The Atlantic Council is big. I mean, they correct me if I'm wrong. They influence a lot of policy. That's what
it's one of the biggest drinking clubs.
Right.
You're what?
Well, they have put out.
Oh, he's asking how to get out of his useless shit.
Which is 971.no.
He's probably still on the Sidewinder. You can hear us. You can text me, but can you hear us talking?
Artificial intelligence will enhance computational propaganda.
He has to make enough money to buy a better ship,
human culture,
or upgrade it.
And threaten democracy.
Sidewinder's not that useless when you upgrade it.
What can be done about it?
But it feels useless, and it feels nice to get into another ship, even if you
I read this for fun. 10 years from now, you won't be able to tell whether you're interacting with a human online or not. In the future, most online and content will be machines talking
There's
to
no
machines.
fucking wires hanging from underneath the dash in this thing.
Talking to humans, talking to machines, talking to machines.
Somerset Station.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what can we take?
Oh yeah.
What can we take with us?
It's a great report. I just wanted to point out the term MADCOM. I believe Wolf Blitzer will be saying this incessantly within the next few months. MADCOM.
You got a whole poop?
No, I'm not hauling poop.
It's a good term to say. MADCOM. Oh, MADCOM. It makes you sound like you're in the know.
Yeah. Hey. Well, obviously this MADCOM problem that really is an issue with the face bags. Now you thought it was nuts here, and since we have a short break, I think I can play these clips because you'll like them because this is CBC, our friends up there from the Dollarettes, and they brought in their tech millennial.
Is there any chance
Sunday, so I figured
you could hop into your ship? Do you have anything multi-role just so you can see?
To explain how this
is multi-crew.
These Facebook ads, and
is it?
You can only imagine he's going to explain the
Can he hop in with you because he wants to see?
But he's got to join our wing first.
A lot, so I think. Even though two clips,
I have to invite him to the wing. Is he in?
During breaking news, the likes of which we've been covering this week, more and more people turn to search engines and to social media to help them sort out the story. What happens when
just
those
answer
search
a question
engines,
for
when
me.
Google
Can you hear
and
us?
Facebook lead people astray? Take a look at these examples of the fake posts circulating on the internet after the Vegas shooting, misidentifying the gunman, misidentifying victims. The question is, how does that happen? How do stories like that,
might have to
how
drop
do
the
they
wing
rise to the surface?
in order to go
And what are
multi-role.
the consequences of
Would
that?
you invite him
we
to
had
your ship?
fake
Do you
news,
have
as
him
I
as
said,
friend?
about victims, about who the shooter was.
I don't have him as a friend
Basically,
yet
they were
here.
wrong.
Okay, let me invite him to the wing, and then
They
you
were
can invite
incorrect,
him.
and there were two
Go
cases
to your
that I think
comms
are
panel at the
worth
top.
highlighting in this context. So,
hear us?
in one case, we had Google, right? People going to Google
There he is.
and
Okay, join the
searching
wing.
for information
Go
about
to your comms. Okay, so now invite him.
identities of the shooter. And there was one name that had sort of emerged early on that people had sort of believed might have been responsible. And so they were going to Google, they were searching for this name, and instead of coming up with, a link to CBC or CNN or NBC or some sort of reputable news site, they were...
Because the reputable news site. I mean, why would you go anywhere else on the internet? Come to both the reputable website.
Being sent to essentially a sort of dark forum of the internet, right, where hoaxes and misinformation is often spread. A place called 4chan, where people were discussing the identity of one of the believed sort of
go to him.
One of the names of someone who later proved to not be the shooter, and that was
select
one
them
example
and then
there.
say,
And then on
okay,
Facebook,
he has to
Facebook
leave
has a
the
feature
goddamn
called Safety Check, right?
wing.
People go to Safety Check.
Now that you have him as a friend,
often in times of disasters and other sorts of events, and alongside
so
Facebook
now
Safety Check, they show
Super Lucky, just
news
leave the
stories,
wing.
news stories that
Mike
are
just
supposed
needed to
to
sorry, Roll just needed to get your
in this case, Facebook
friend,
was also
and
pulling
then
in
he will
misinformation, pulling in sort of hyper-partisan news stories, pulling in far-right sort of news sources, also things that were misidentifying victims and the shooter and
So
things
this
like
was
that.
coming from trolls, either propaganda reasons, either pulling pranks, whatever. Their false information was popping up right at the top of these screens.
You see, they're not doing it right. When you have the check-in to see if you're okay, then you need to bring in news from CBC and NBC and, you know, right? And all of the good guys, right?
Wingman Nablock. That's the other one you want, right?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Well, I like this guy.
Okay, there he's
How
out.
does that happen that the fake stuff
Now
gets
invite
to
him
the
to
top
your-
of our attention?
Appreciate that.
So both of these services rely on algorithms, basically complex systems of code, right? That help sort.
It won't let me. It still says he's in wing.
Hold on a second. What's an algorithm? Answer.
Or maybe I
Basically
can't be in the
complex
wing.
Systems of code, right?
Right.
If you want to, I just got to rehearse that. Try it out. Try it out.
Okay, hold on. I'll leave the wing.
I don't know what the lead-in was.
What's an algorithm?
I was
You have to leave
mesmerized
the wing
by
too?
this back and forth.
Kind of looks like it. Let me
How
try.
do these things?
I forgot
she
about the
can't
top
be in the wing.
of what you
One of them
presented
can
to
probably
us.
be in the
Well,
wing.
it's basically an aggregation of a whole bunch of
Maybe.
complicated code, right?
Let me invite. See if I can
Oh,
get
I
him
see.
invited first
Well,
here.
How does that happen that the fake stuff gets to the top of our attention?
Maybe you can't get a wing
Both
bonus
of
when you're
these
doing
services
multiple.
rely
That's
on
entirely
algorithms,
possible.
basically complex systems of code, right? That help sort through all of the different sources of news and information across the internet.
Yeah,
and
let me
figure out
add him and then
what
I'll
to
join the wing
surface,
again.
right? What's the most important thing to kind of put at the top of people's search results, or the top of people's Facebook pages? And the reason they use these algorithms, right, is because there's just so much on the internet, right, that they say.
Stick it in the middle of a sentence.
But it's a contradiction. It's even better.
The
Listen.
reason they use these algorithms right is not even a proper use of right, because it's not asking for an affirmation. He's just throwing it in.
I know.
He's just throwing right in.
Top of people's search results, or at the top of people's Facebook pages.
Are you here?
And the reason they use
Oh,
these
he's stuck in
algorithms, right,
outer
is because
space, it says. Oh yeah, you gotta land or blow up.
It's Tourette's.
I gotta land?
Or
And
no,
the reason
him.
it's Falco, and the reason I'm going to the school right is because
Oh,
I
he's
have to do
here.
the right. Yeah.
And
Oh,
the
is he?
reason they use these algorithms, right, is
Okay.
because there's just so much on the internet, right, that they say
Okay, now
it's
send me an
impossible
invite.
for humans to kind of sift through it all. They kind of
Okay.
have a point, right? There's just so much there that you would need thousands, if not more.
You can't take it anymore.
Yes, you can. You can do
The
it.
guy uses right 3 times within one sentence.
He'll even say wrong and right after each other. Can you just please? I get so much fun and joy from this. Can you
Sent
handle
to you?
it?
I don't know if it'll work.
It will until you get out of hyperspace.
It's going to be good. It's done for
Oh, you
good.
guys are in hyperspace? Okay.
Please.
For humans to kind of sift through it all. And they kind of have a point, right?
All
There's
right,
just
so what was I
so
doing?
much there that you would
Atmospheric
need
processes.
thousands, if not more, armies of humans to actually sort through it. And so they've turned to these algorithms to sort of make a lot of those choices, right? And what we see in these cases is that
Send me another invite?
oftentimes they can be wrong, right? They can,
It can be wrong, right? Okay, that's what you were saving up. Okay, I get it.
It doesn't stop there, right?
choices, right? And what we see in these cases is that oftentimes they can be wrong, right? They can be
Algorithms fail.
they fail, and that's exactly what happened in this case, right? Where Google basically said they rely on a bunch of different signals, right, that determine what gets placed into that top stories box, right? It depends on things like how many people are searching for a particular keyword, the authoritativeness of the actual news source, right? The freshness of the source.
When you're buying stuff, do you have to click it 90 sometimes?
Ladies, please stop
Nope, just hold it
squeezing
and
the
then all of a sudden it goes
sources.
to
And in this case, it was a
that
confluence of
plus
signals, in
sign down.
particular that sort of freshness that somehow managed to surface 4chan, which
No agenda show now with more freshness.
is sort of the polar opposite of what
All
you
right,
should
I'm
be
jumping back
sort
to
of
Somerset.
sourcing as a news source. It was putting it in that sort of box.
Okay,
which
Discord's
kind of
saying
makes
he's
you wonder,
talking.
well, why wasn't that something that
can't hear
perhaps
him.
was more proactively identified as
Okay,
something
hang
that
on.
should never
Oh,
ever
yeah,
appear
he's not
in
muted
that
now.
box as it
Oh
did.
my
So hang on, let me turn him up.
Crap.
Say something now.
It reminds me of a athlete, a certain type of dumb athlete. You hear them, they pepper everything. with
What about your input volume? I can't hear you.
You know.
Yeah, that
Definitely your mic is
Same
unmuted
thing.
now.
It's a filler.
Yeah. Stop word. We used to call it a stop word. A stop word. So yeah, give you a moment. You give you a moment to think, or instead of.
But he doesn't give you a moment to think. He puts the stop word in the middle of a sentence.
Oh man. man, I shouldn't have smoked weed before the show.
Okay, just let me get out of the station. I'll go back to Discord and look.
There's more. I mean, he does.
No, it's done.
Oh, can I just explain it? Okay.
All right. While I'm waiting for my mask lock to go.
Where he explains what has to be done. So he explains.
It's not going to be interesting. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Hey, say something so I can see if your green light lights up.
Taming the trolls. To fall in other hands. So we'll watch that. Matthew, thank you. I really appreciate your coming.
You have a mute button on like the cord of your.
About this because Matthew's been thinking on and writing about this.
Looks like my Discord account is flagged or something.
Damn it. Okay, good. That was a Dvorak thing.
It's a cosmic event.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab.
And we do have a few people to thank for show. What is this?
971, sir. Yes.
971. Dame Beth at the top of the list. She's the Baroness.
You can hear us, no problem, though, hey?
Baja, Arizona.
Yep.
She says, "Hi, gents. This month marks my 4th year on the Lido deck of the USS No Agenda."
Nice. Congratulations, Dame Beth.
I'm a Discord expert.
Yeah.
Sir Torialta of Slenoma. Which
my
is
Discord
in Glen
Discord
Ellen,
expert is downstairs.
London once resided. 101
Unless tactical comes on or something.
Thank you very much. An interim donation, he called it.
Oh, this is probably not a good idea.
Sir Richard Moffat came in with $101.01, and he also sent a note in about something that.
Well, if you can hear us, you can use the in-game chat.
Back when
you just go up to your comms panel.
Didn't tell him whether a check went through or something.
Click on one of us and talk, or click on local.
John Robinet, $100. Lon Baker, $100. Christopher Dolan in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Or if you can figure out why it's flagged.
Sir Christopher Dolan. He comes in on every show.
I know.
And I can't remember his last show because he called me on my Sir Christopher blunder. Tony Andrees in Iowa City, Iowa, 90.
So is he in your ship, though?
Mark Hall, Austin, Texas, right down the street from me.
Hey, that's our big-time Hollywood producer, Mark Hall.
Yeah, Mark Hall. Yeah. He listens to the show once in a while.
What does he say?
68.
What does he say? Hey, Adam and John, excellent analysis on any
I'm here.
I've got a belated request.
Is Crayola in your ship?
Filmmaker Spike Lee for the health of the
AKA
planet.
Super Lucky.
He is the douchiest person I've ever met.
You betcha. We're ready to start shooting. Where have you been going? Hazard zones?
Yeah, going to
what does he want to do?
The hazardous reason. Not
hazardous. Specifically what he said.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, can you send me another wing invite though? I didn't get it.
I'm gonna try it again. Maybe he won't let you.
I thought he was a douchebag.
It's not saying can't invite. It's not read it out.
Bernhard, blah blah blah. I can't get it. It's a Swiss name with a bunch of characters in it that just
weird. I didn't get it.
I would say.
Okay, I'm almost in Somerset.
Renardo.
Just Google that quick and see. If you can be in a wing and multi-role at the same time.
Just impossible.
Should be able to.
Sorry,
we apologize profusely.
Or do I have to send it to both of you, maybe?
$75.
I don't know, maybe.
We're literally seeing REN, capital A with a line over it.
Now it says you're in wing.
A squiggly F, an A with an accent.
Says I'm in a wing with Lucky.
Copyright sign.
Yeah, I can't. You don't come up as in my friends list anymore.
Another A with a line. Another squiggly.
There, I just sent Super Lucky
these
one.
Are umlauts, I'm sure. A with a circumflex. Then a quarter 1/4 TTER. But I'm gonna put it in the chat room, and then those guys are smart. I bet you there's a way to reverse engineer that pretty easily.
Maybe.
Go ahead, chat room.
Chris Beggio in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 73.
73 to you, Kilo 5.
Trayola, I'm gonna get Namio to come on Discord and see if he can help. He might know what that is because he runs a server, so he knows a lot about it. I just gotta jump out of Super Cruise first. So
69. Joshua Schmidt, 69. Great show, he says. So
I hear somebody.
55. Eric Scholes in Dallas, Texas. Double nickels on the dime. And he says, great show. Oh, no, that's the other guy. Sir Walk says this. Eric Scholes says, greatest podcast in the universe. That's what he says.
That's me. Telling Super Lucky that he's got to scan the targets.
Chad Rickman in Peck,
I asked who jumped into the...
he needs a de-douching because
or did he jump out?
You've been de-douched.
I can't switch out to Discord because I'm about to drop.
5432 in Richmond, Virginia. Stephen Smith, 5353, and...
So you're in the resource extraction zone high? That's the one I've been going to.
Hazardous.
Ron Woodbury,
I was told not to go to the hazardous one, but
Renterer,
the high one
in Colorado.
That's the one I've been going to.
$50.99.
I can do that.
Trent Wabbis, the
hazardous. There's just no cops there, right?
5011. Following people are $50 donors, and that wraps it up.
Oh,
name and location.
Somebody's back in.
Mary Cransel.
Hello.
Cransel in Ipswich, Massachusetts. Larry Hay in Mooresville, North Carolina. Joshua Lacey in Broken
he just
Arrow,
jumped out,
Oklahoma.
though.
Another great name for a town. Richard Chow, parts unknown. Sir Richard Chow.
I'm not sure.
Caleb Kniffen in Grain Valley, Missouri.
Yeah, super
50.
lucky. Make sure you sign up. Oh, he didn't sign up for
Jonathan Meyer in Xenia, Ohio. David Schlesinger in Rosemont, Illinois. Edward Mazurek.
We played. He's got 40 hours in this game, but we never learned anything when we first played.
Brian Matthews
back
in
in
Melbourne, Ireland.
Oh, I think I hear him.
You need more Irish. Rain Shadow.
No.
Parts unknown. Private
out.
pilot. CIA says. Could be. How about more than 50?
Lord.
Kyle, some of the
trying to troubleshoot people's stuff over the internet
Atlanta,
when they're more tech savvy than you are is frustrating as hell.
Tampa, Florida, and last but not least, Frank Molinari in Bulvard, Texas. I want to thank all these folks for helping produce this show. 971, 29 away from 1,000.
Yes, and the preliminary answer to the puzzle is possibly Renee Berharnsgretter.
Could be.
That could be it. Well, we'll find out. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for supporting the program. Everyone over $50 or more. Under that is typically for reasons of anonymity.
Says you have to go through verification process, check my email. I've checked all my accounts and junk.
Any one of our show notes pages, noagendashow.com, it's SeanHannity.com. We have a link to the newsletter. Sign up for that. It's good. And you get on some of those subscriptions. We have special events, all kinds of stuff in the newsletter. And the literary stylings of yours truly, John C. Dvorak.
Someone's back in.
And Rain Shadow, I want to read his note. It says he's talking about...
Who's back in?
He says, private pilot, CIA, gun runner, gambling, money travel, murder, gambling, / gun deals. It was unusual for Steve, except this buyer had their own plan. Undone.
Yep.
I think I heard something there. Check.
Exactly. And another show coming
I heard
up on
something,
Thursday.
but if it's somebody that's it says he has to verify it on his email, and he hasn't done it.
Watch a lot of
can't find it.
Boring stuff, and I think
in his junk mail or anything is what he's saying.
Else, so consider us at
Dvorak.org/check.
And there's no.
I hear you.
And there's no.
Oh, you do?
No title changes, no knightings. I will do a jobs card.
Jobs.
I can't hear him. Why can't I hear him?
Let's vote for jobs.
I don't know.
Karma.
Oh, did he calm up on the game?
Are you
going to scan that guy?
Illuminati festival?
Scan him.
I didn't know there was one.
Okay, you know what?
Man,
I can enable.
Oh,
yes.
Well, you're one of the few.
Is it the Bilderbergers?
No, this is the big.
Is he talking to you in in-game chat?
In Portugal, in Lisbon.
Yeah.
Let me just see. What's the title of it? The Web Summit. The Web Summit, quote unquote, the largest tech conference in the world. Do you want to hear who's going to be there?
Not the largest.
So should we all get on that chat?
That's why it's the Illuminati.
Shield cell.
We're going to get double speak.
You want to
What did you do? Yeah, they're apparently in your office. They're beating you.
Same thing that happened last time. My mic came off in my hands.
Why are you holding the mic in your hands?
Habit.
That would be a problem.
Okay. Margaret Verstager, the European Commissioner from Denmark. There will be Stuart Butterfield from Slack, Al Gore, Steve Huffman from Reddit, Antonio stop saying man, because it gets interesting. Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, CEO.
What do they know? What are any of these people?
Nothing. It gets better.
Shield cell.
Wait until I get to the real names. These are just the headliners. The CTO of Amazon, Werner Fogels. CEO of Oracle. Co-founder of Tinder.
Yeah, you can shoot.
President CEO of Booking.com. Francois Hollande. Brad Smith of Microsoft. Caitlyn Jenner. Here we go. Kara Swisher.
Oh, that's in the gear, I think.
Jared Cohen from Google.
Voice channels. Enable.
Ogilvy of Revolution. CSO of Uber.
Check.
Sophia Bush of the Girl Project.
Check. Oh, that's our wing. We don't need that.
Everybody except us. It's uncanny. I'm scrolling through this list.
You want these two podcasters to be
You can shoot them.
Go to web.
Hell no.
Here, Bob Greenberg, RGA, Young and Rubicon.
That's me sending him a voice conference question. So
General, Rosaria Dawson. They're throwing in all kinds of celebrities.
Do you have him in
Next
friends?
hostile.
Let me see this. Goalkeeper for Brazil, Julio Cesar.
The goalkeeper in a soccer team?
Yes.
Hello.
Steve Blank from Stanford, professor.
This is just going to work better for you right now.
BBC Sport Directors, Terrell Owens.
I did one of the
Owens, the NFL guy who's always bitching.
Yes.
Thanks for the community goal.
And hold on, Anna Kasparian, host of the Young Turks, she gets to go.
Dino, is Mike's talking to you?
I'm telling you, this is.
You have to have your fire button selected in the right fire group.
I guess.
I don't know if Mike's multiplayer rolled before either. So Doug and I had some trouble trying to get that going the other night. You have to have the right fire group selected, so you might have to hit the tab button to get to the right fire group, and then it's fire 1, fire 2, whatever that is, your mouse button. I don't know because I have it as selected on a joystick. So.
Style that he started with the editing really fast.
Okay, what were you saying, Dougie?
Yeah.
Did a community goal on what?
Yeah, that was him.
I got.
What's a plague?
I brought back 90 some of those things, and it says 0 tunnies collected.
It's one of those many things.
Because remember I was telling you got to exit out of the game and back in before it
loads. You wouldn't even know he had a podcast.
Okay.
Well, there's that.
Let alone the best podcast in the universe.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a couple of take us out of here clips.
Yeah.
Let's start with. This was a good to me.
Roll, you still there?
Story.
Yep.
Because this is a
when he accepted my voice request,
classic story that you hear local stories. They should get on the national news to be made more fun of, but
I can hear you,
man released from prison by accident.
I don't hear him.
A convicted felon released from a Santa Clara County jail by mistake had a week of freedom before he was recaptured. 31-year-old David Lopez got 8 years for pistol whipping a robbery victim. He was arrested today after posting selfies of his trip to a San Jose mall on Instagram.
Okay, go to your right panel.
No.
Come on.
Go to fire groups.
I don't know.
Make sure you have
I got a story of the day with you here.
Weapon selected as your fire button 1 or 2. And then you're good to go. And then you just have to make sure you've tabbed over that fire group.
Yesterday, shortly before the Boeing 777 landed in
Tell them not to shoot cops.
27 were hurt.
And don't shoot cops, Mike says. I should let you talk. I didn't realize only one person can talk at a time.
To detect. New research suggests transatlantic.
I can't hear him at all.
Could become up to.
Yeah, that's because I did him a voice request and I think it cancels. I'm going to put him back to you, or you should send him a voice request.
Those concerns.
Because he should be talking to you, not me right now.
Good morning.
Until we get his
For
Discord
nervous
rolling.
flyers, nothing about this research is reassuring. Clear air turbulence strikes without warning, and because of climate change,
I don't see
could
him.
get worse.
The science is in.
He's in your ship.
No, I don't see him in the
pure
Discord.
Irony, yours is a better story.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. He connected to you through the game.
It's not as funny as mine.
Oh,
game voice conference. I couldn't get his Discord working.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I was going through some old clips. I found 2 Whoopi clips that we've never used. I don't believe.
Oh my. Okay. What do
now,
you
I
have?
got one. One of them is that I think you
he
can
left.
use just an ISO clip. Maybe we played it before, but I think it fits in.
Now it says leave voice conference.
You'll see why that's funny. It fits in
he left.
with a couple of other Whoopi clips that we saved. Try this Whoopi as many things as we can.
Oh, he's here. He's on voice
things as we can stick in here.
I think there's a combo. Hold on. All right, we can do a combo clip. Let's see. Here we go.
As many other things as we can stick in here. Get out of my vagina!
Yeah, I think it works. Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't work as well as
Can
I
this
think.
bitch run the country?
Now that one was said in January of 2016 when Hillary was running, and she makes this comment.
Oh well, I guess might as well send me another
And I'm
invite for the
thinking,
wing.
why didn't they jump all over her? This is very disrespectful.
He's in Discord
Don't you
now.
think?
Yeah. Yeah, let me listen again.
Can this bitch run the country?
I like it. You know where I'm putting it.
Apparently where you can stick many things?
That's correct. You know, I'm always looking for the Armageddon. The signs of Armageddon to you with your cycles, and, you know, that book one day is going to be great in hindsight. It's like, here's what happened. This is a promo. I love the tiny house shows. We talked about it. But this promo just kind of
he's
By the
what
way,
it is.
before you go on, I find him disturbing.
It says something about he has to like accept it in his mail or something like that.
I'm Sam Fox, and I'm
Verification.
You haven't confirmed your Discord account?
But he says it didn't come up in his mail, like it
in a trailer.
can't find it in his junk mail, nothing.
In San Diego.
Okay, that's weird. Maybe go to the Discord website and request another mail be sent.
Did she say her name was Sam Fuck?
I have never had any kind of problems with this game, so I don't know the ins and outs, or with this thing. Shit, it dropped out again.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. But I do have an Armageddon-like. I think I know the answer, but an Armageddon-like question for you regarding the jobs number report. We never really talk about it.
Oh no, he's almost dead.
When you hear the magic numbers, you got to bring it up. Yeah.
There's your
he's toast.
Big story
I didn't get one.
The U.S. economy
The
losing
invite
jobs
failed.
in
Commander
September
is
for
in
the first
multi-crew,
time
it says.
since 2010.
There
the
we go.
economy lost
Try it again.
33,000 jobs. The unemployment rate, meantime, fell to a new post-crisis low of 4.2%. This report is putting Wall Street's record-breaking
I still got him on
hold, at least
Dean, can you hear me
For a
on
deeper
Game
dive
Voice
on these
comms?
numbers, we're joined by Yahoo Finance's Miles Udlin and Justine Underhill. So, guys, you had a chance to parse through this report. First off, how's the market reacting so far?
You know, it's a little bit muted, and you know, stocks are down a little bit.
It's like he's not there, but he's
the
there.
bond market take this report, I'd say, fairly seriously,
Okay, I gotta
considering
read that
the
voice
distortions that are very
transcript.
obvious in the headline number, the way the hurricane impacted this report. The bond market is mostly looking at that wages number and saying the economy and the labor market continue to strengthen. It means it's.
Did you get a wing
just as
invite that
likely
time,
as it
Mike?
was
Yeah, I
yesterday,
did.
the Fed will raise rates in December.
Not showing you my
So really,
wing.
the big story
It's like
is
my
that
shit's not
despite a couple of weird numbers, the market is looking at this report and saying, you know, we think the economy is about where we thought it was yesterday.
So, Justine, was it really all about the hurricanes that had that impact? This
Oh, you're in
negative
here with
number
me.
we're seeing.
The BLS said that the hurricanes were a huge impact.
yeah,
I would say that
coming.
this payrolls number, though, this headline
Oh,
number,
he's in
is
the ship
pretty
with
much a
you?
head fake because everything
No, I
else
see
in
your
the
signal.
report was very strong. We had unemployment
never
fall
mind.
to the post-crisis low.
Okay,
We
I'm
also
just
had
leaving
wage
the
growth
station.
go up, and it was
Just
revised
gotta
higher
select the-
in August as well to 2.7%. That's important. And then also labor force participation rate increased to
it to me until I get
63%. So
outside.
overall, this is pretty good news.
So wage growth is showing an increase, labor participation showing an increase. So you just said it a minute ago. You believe it's pretty much a likely done deal that the Fed's going to hike rates in December.
And I'll tell you that just based on the offhand reports on the M5M news media, it'd be like, see, we're in the tank, it's the crapperbs, first negative jobs, you know, Trump. But the beauty of this report, the way I saw it, is what we always talk about.
Probably shouldn't
labor
go 200
participation
out of the
rate.
dog,
Is
eh?
that there's more people looking for work. They may still be out of work, but they're looking for work. So that increase,
is he back?
probably there were 33
Or
magic
is that
number. God knows why.
Rusty
Other than
leaving?
signaling that's bullcrap.
Well, here's the problem with the entire report. I don't know why this hostess or whatever she is doesn't point this out. If the labor participation rate goes up,
Yeah, you went to a resource extraction site high, I assume?
the unemployment number has to therefore go up, not down.
Right, and it went
Oh,
down.
Doug dropped
It
out.
went down. How does that work?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
I'd like to know how they can explain that to me. Explain that to me. That's the first question I'd ask. I'd say, can you explain this to me?
Yeah, well,
why that number went down when
Okay,
the
just
other,
before I
all the
jump to you, I'm
numbers
just
were
all
maybe
tab and
going
see what's
up?
going on here.
No explanation.
No, it's just me and you. Everybody else left.
It's bogus. That's why the whole thing is bullcrap.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes.
I'll probably wrap up here in about 30 minutes.
33 is the reason. They're just telling.
Yeah, I mean, we got a turkey going, right?
The 33 is
oh, yeah, right
you
on.
don't need to send them.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we've already.
Yeah, you too, man.
We already know.
Hey, you're more than welcome. If I would have known you'd been home,
my brother's here from out of town, and we're gonna play some games this afternoon, and then go to parents for Thanksgiving. So we're good.
Oh, nice.
You're welcome.
Or it means that whatever was initiated is now in place.
There's no more bad guys. What the fuck?
Old Western Union code.
Are you bad guy?
33.
No. I killed all the bad guys,
because
man.
I was thinking, in old form journalism, when
nothing
people
but debris.
used to type their stories
System
out,
authority
come
vessels.
back.
submit them to the copy boy. They got it.
You're too good at your job, eh?
The
copy boy.
The story would end with 30. That's the dash 30 dash is the old-fashioned way of using it. Instead of writing end.
5 more seconds, then I've got it.
You'd write 30. That means the story was done. And that came from the old
I love flying up to the rings.
Telegraph codes.
Oh, that's
from
super
the
fun.
1850s, 1860s. If you look at
I see lasers.
5 codes, they got some name.
Well, I do know the 10 codes.
Mining lasers?
10-4. Yeah, those are new though. This is very old.
Okay. Well, 1033 is an emergency. All units stand by. 1033.
Yes, 1033 is an emergency.
Oh, I see you.
Yeah, it's just like that. All right, well, onward to the next clip. I've got
an
one
anaconda.
that was a little obscure.
And it's a bad guy.
Oh, by the way, the Benghazi trial. Do you have a Benghazi trial clip?
There you are.
Yeah.
I got 3 clips I can play. I got that. You tell me what you want. Australian Amnesty Guns Collected.
Type 7. Where is he?
I'd like to play this clip so I can do the same complaint I made about 5 years ago on this show.
Oh, well, let's do that then. I'd love nothing but repetition.
Yes.
Australia today
Usually I can see your little symbol.
amnesty for turning in illegal firearms. The government said
you're
the
way
public turned in
up there. I thought you were closer to this
51,000
guy.
weapons to be destroyed. And Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull says that the country's gun laws have prevented mass killings. Australia enacted strict curbs after a gunman killed 35 people in Tasmania back in 1996.
Boom,
Okay,
he's
so here's
toast.
my question I've asked it before 5 years ago.
Oh, you didn't wait for me. Who do we got?
Why do they have to be destroyed? Why don't they give them over to a
Hello.
gunsmith?
Hey,
have them
fucking A.
refurbished, which would employ a number of people.
Yeah,
have the
typically.
guns
And you're
refurbished.
clear.
Why does it work now? Enforcement. It was always complaining
Don't care,
that
dude.
they
Don't
have
care.
enough
Let's
guns,
not go
or
there.
Their guns are not
It
as good
works.
as the other guys' guns. And so
Ooh, another anaconda.
Awesome program.
So yeah, being a
steamroller.
co-pilot
What about refurbishing them? Gunsmiths can do that. And there's
do
lots of them.
Yeah, you had the
They
guns.
have something to do. Why are you
But
throwing
he was asking me how to like switch to him.
They kill people.
So like you got to go to the fire control
Makes you
panel and
feel
make
good
sure
when
that
they've been
he has control of them. You know what I mean?
Nonsense.
Are you getting here, bud? I got another anaconda to kill.
Well, you're 24 kilometers away. I'm going.
Girls and
Oh no, you're not. Jesus, you're 2,196 light seconds away. Why are you so far away?
Odd in this circumstance because you play it, and then I'll talk about it.
Shield cell.
As America searches for answers after another mass
So,
shooting,
are you just in a
one thing is
Sidewinder
clear,
then?
The gun business appears stronger than ever. Nearly 4 million rifles were produced in the U.S. in 2015, up more than 150%.
Sidewinder is the ship you have. You don't have a code for nothing.
Met some new customers.
Sure.
In the hills of Western Kentucky.
Look on your right panel, go to functions, tell me what kind of ship you have. Mine says Diamondback Scout ship. Jump range and all that.
Oh, he tried to ram me.
She's competing in a shooting match.
Why are you so far away, dude?
A girl and a
You jumped out too soon? I don't know.
national group of female
No way I
gun
jumped out too
enthusiasts.
soon.
I didn't realize how
The target thing's
competitive I
behind me.
was, but I am.
Are you in a different one?
My scores,
Maybe.
and I like to hear the ping, 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 and
I
the
thought you
steel.
went to the high.
57-year-old Dr. Laura Torres-Reyes
I'm in
is
the
a
high.
retired Air Force colonel.
Okay.
Now you can do like a wingman nav lock, and you'll jump out
from
near
Austin,
me.
Texas.
Is it more fun than empowering or empowering than fun?
I think it all makes sense
Empowering
together.
and fun. It's fun. Empowering is fun.
But all of them used to hate guns.
Goodbye, Mason Tinkler.
I was petrified of them.
I didn't want them in the house.
I didn't want him at home.
So,
Sandoval, the turning point
I chose
was
the
Hurricane
gunner
Katrina.
role.
First responders were unable
And
to
then
respond,
I
and
used
families were kind
tab
of left
to
on their
go to
own.
gunner
I wanted to
view.
be my children's
And
first
it looks
responder.
like
I
I
wanted
should be
to
targeting
protect them.
and
This AR is my favorite AR.
Right, but my has kids.
It's easy.
Okay, but your
But
fire
they
group.
can't fucking do
No ordinary
anything.
gun.
Yeah, your fire
According-
group's in the right panel. You have to have selected for you, because Doug and I had trouble with that.
I'm in there. And everything's
among U.S. civilian gun owners.
I don't know if maybe I didn't set them, but I didn't have my scanner for some reason. I think you had the scanner for sure.
Because those automatically give those to the player. So you have to, the two of you got to go into that fire groups panel, and you got to make sure that it says controlled by other player. You do, Mike, as the commander.
What went through your minds?
No,
man chose a horrible thing
my
to
fault.
It's on him.
Yeah, how do you get into the head of someone?
Well, you have to do it together. He has to select the buttons,
Do you think there should be
and you have to make sure, kind of thing. Like, literally, it took Doug and I 10 minutes to figure it out. We're like, what the hell is going on?
I like having access to my AR.
And then it worked, and then he just had to tab over to the right fire group. And it can't be on the same fire group as something you have. So he has to have his own fire.
In terms of debate and speech, we need to
not fire group, like the whole column has to be his.
How to protect society from killers armed with AR-15s. Striking that balance.
Another wanted anaconda.
We got Dean here finally.
Gun rights debate.
What is
I'm coming to you. This is a completely different event, dude.
To elusive target. Now, it was an interesting group. These women were old women, kind of old women, but the one that didn't have the patois or the southern accent was black. And she had a
1,000 light
she
seconds.
just had a neutral accent, not a black accent or anything else. And she was the one who talked about the Second Amendment.
Yeah, there's one right
And
next to
when I
Somerset.
watch these sorts of things,
Right in the rings of
Thomas
its planet.
Smiley,
I just
and
jumped
the
in
clip
and out
that
of
we
there.
have of him going on about how important it is that black people should be armed to the teeth.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are under the gun, as it were.
This guy's gonna take my shields down.
In the day-to-day situation in their own neighborhoods, not because the cops are trying to shoot them, but because other blacks are trying to shoot them. They should take advantage of their rights. And then I hear that sort of discussion, which makes some sense, and then I hear all these anti-gun people, like these women apparently were before they joined Guns and Girls, and they're always afraid of these weapons. And it's just an interesting situation we've got going on.
I have
two dimensions.
Oh, it's down to 7%, 5%.
I have a clip that I've been holding for a couple of shows.
Or you are?
Haven't gotten to it, so I do want to play it today.
No, the anaconda.
It's something else we're always on the lookout for, as the war on cash is into acceleration mode in the UK.
New technology is paving the way towards a totally cashless future. Electronic money transfers between banks will soon be finalised in less than a minute.
I have headphones in, so it's not.
Adrian Lovely,
I'm hearing you twice,
Chief
too.
Executive of the New Payments Platform, an initiative set up by Australian banks to build the technology, says funds will arrive in the recipient's bank in as little as 30 seconds.
We're putting in place a new system which will sit alongside the old system, which will make payments move instantly between bank accounts, and that'll happen 24/7, 365.
Under the new system, customers will be able to transfer money between two separate financial institutions in real time.
Slow down.
The new payment platform system acts like a secure network between two separate banks, for example, National Australia Bank and Commonwealth Bank. Mr. Loveday says the new technology will allow messages to be sent in real time, which allows funds to be sent instantly.
These are beautiful.
So the current system that we're using today is about 50 years old, and it was designed around the principle of tape exchanges, and transactions were stored until a certain time, and then physically those transactions moved in a batch to the receiver's bank. And we're speeding that process up so it's instantaneous settlement, so it meets the needs of consumers in today's digital economy.
Currently, the funds go through a lengthy settlement process overseen by the Reserve Bank. Transferring money from one financial institution to another can take between 2 to 5 days. Associate Professor of Finance Eliza Liu from the University of Sydney says it's a strategic move from the banks.
I mislabeled this, obviously. It's Australia, not the UK. Almost done. The last bit is worth listening to.
There's been a decline in the use of ATMs to withdraw cash anyway, so it's a small saving in order to win some brownie points back with their financial consumers.
The new technology has also raised security concerns. Banks are ensuring they're doing extra to protect their customers from fraud. While some finance experts are predicting a cashless society by 2020, Professor Wu believes cash will still be in the wallets of some.
For the reason that cash is still preferred to be used by certain segments of the population, particularly the older generation. But the use of electronic payment methods, those tap-and-go cards and credit and debit cards, that's highly preferred by particularly people in their 30s and 40s, and of course the younger people.
Scanning me?
But in the older generations, they would still prefer to use cash for a lot of their transactions.
Yeah, probably that.
The changes take effect next year.
So they're really pushing this forward very, very, very hard.
What do you think?
I like it.
Well, I like the idea that the cash is preferred by olders.
Okay, let's go find some prey.
Well, we got it made. You know, I just want to put way in
I got a
advance.
cobra.
I don't like using this,
I see your signal
phrase because we kind of bad.
Are you kill warrant scanning him?
In advance.
I will when I'm in range.
The youngers who
that's what I'm going to do.
If he's alive.
Into this crap. We told you so.
Scratch my paint.
Because it's not. This makes no sense. What happens when and everyone's first? How does this work? You got people complaining about the
firewall
going down.
Yeah.
And we're under threat by the Russians and the North Koreans, and you're talking about EMPs and all the rest of it. And EMP,
then I won't worry
you're
about
broke.
Yeah, you're done.
Only if you shoot him, though.
Oh, I didn't even get a chance to shoot him, dude.
By the way.
Okay, let's find another.
Yes, exactly.
I did want to launch just a minor initiative if someone's
interested.
Got an adder. I've now concluded that
yellow target,
the actual answer for the No Agenda show is we should have a
Diamondback Explorer
Ethereum.
My target there.
But to use it for
I got another one here.
Our entire
I'm going to kill warrant him.
I've been reading up, and this is really outrageously cool.
Scanning him
how you can have you can have even your own DNS running. You can have links to articles, attachments, directory of who's a member of our chain, because it's just a blockchain. If someone would do that, I think that would be very. Also tie in all of our disparate websites. It's something that can't kind of be killed off. So it would be nice. Once it works, it works. As long as there's still people. So that was just a
too powerful, dude.
I was moaning and groaning.
Okay, I'll slow it down.
Yeah.
I see who you're selecting, not him.
All right. Well, I have one last clip, which is just to catch us up on something no one's talking about, which is they're actually having a trial about Benghazi. They snagged some guy in Libya and put him on an aircraft carrier and dragged him to the United States.
That's a minor.
Seems like very sketchy to me that you can do
ASP Scout.
On the night of September 11, 2012, Islamist militants staged
must have better
deadly
sensors than you.
On the U.S. compound in Benghazi, Libya.
Are you?
5 years later, the only suspect charged in the attack, a 46-year-old Libyan, is on trial in Washington, D.C. Here's Justice reporter Paula Reed.
4K above us.
Wave of assaults
I'm scanning him. I'm sure he's a bad guy.
Next morning, 4 Americans were
See
dead.
him? Kenoras?
Ambassador Christopher Stevens, Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, and Glenn Doherty.
Target. I should be able to see your
FBI
target. Oh, there I see him.
lured in on Ahmed Abu Khattala, the leader of the extremist militia group who carried out the deadly attack. He was captured in Libya 3 years ago.
Or which one? No, I got the Diamondback Explorer.
They're both scanned. Just shoot him.
He was questioned by the FBI and U.S. intelligence.
Here, I'll soften him up for you.
After he was apprehended, he arrived in Washington under heavy security. Abu Khattala's lawyers have raised objections to the jury hearing what he said during his interrogation. But
that's why I had all my shit to engines. No wonder. Yeah, I got 124,000 for that one.
Waived his right to remain silent.
What else you got? Oh, I got another one.
McMahon,
I didn't even hit him.
9/11 co-conspirator Zacharias Moussaoui.
Nice. Good to
see. I got here. I got an ASP Scout.
Will be
I got an Imperial Eagle.
With an open mind.
Wanted ASP Scout right here.
Empty vessel.
Wingman's target.
The terrorism case. You just have to say that I'm willing to be fair and impartial.
Scanning.
Prosecutors allege Abu Khattala planned the attack.
I'm not going to worry about selecting subsystems with you
He
here.
has entered a plea of not guilty to all charges.
Now you get it.
For the last week, the jury has been coming here to federal court in Washington, where they hear testimony from witnesses, including some that were there the night of the attack. The trial is expected to last at least 6 weeks. Paula Reed reporting.
Thank you.
Target shields
I'm glad you brought
offline.
That's interesting. I don't quite understand. Who's the group doing
Ah,
this?
shit, I'm almost out of ammo.
Government.
All right.
Government? Oh,
government.
That explains it. Okay.
Betcha.
I'm sure they're doing it with a reason. What do they want to achieve?
Fact.
It's a bit closure.
No. Okay.
So Hillary can say, "See, I told you it didn't mean anything."
You trying to joust with me, you fuck?
Oh, okay. That makes sense. End of show clips. GX2, Leo La Puke. Thank you very much for that.
Not a chance.
And,
this is rolling wood eye.
on Thursday, Jean.
You ain't getting away from us. That's 118,000. Thank you
I'm
very
sure
much.
Something will be going on.
Oh, it's another Sunday, so something will happen.
No,
today.
a bunch of adders here now.
Okay. Oh, something will happen today. Yeah.
Mining
Hey,
fragment.
John.
What do we got?
Ready?
Lorna,
Ready?
get
Ready?
out of here if you're
Go
clean.
Astros.
Good lord.
Look at this quasi guy in the adder.
Really?
Yeah, man.
8K away. He's wanted. Wing it 2.
Okay, good for them. It's a good team.
Okay.
The team that'll win this whole
Elbard?
thing.
Is that
I
him?
think it's
Quasi?
Cleveland.
Okay, I got the other one, I
We'll see
think.
how the Astros fare against
I
the
will
Dodgers.
kill Warren scan
Coming
him
in from
right
downtown
now.
Austin, Texas.
No, I don't think you
Here,
do.
Capital Drone
Let's
Star
see here.
States, FEMA Region 6 on the government maps in the
Maybe you do.
common law condo
Paradox?
5x9
No,
Cody.
quasi.
Good morning, everybody.
QUASI.
I'm Curry.
And from
No, I know, but
Silicon
this is the other
Valley,
guy in the
we
wing,
have
isn't it? Oh no, it's someone different
Angels
completely.
Flying around aimlessly. It'll be great. I'm John C. Dvorak.
El
We'll be back on
Barid.
Thursday right here on No Agenda. Adios,
Okay.
mofos!
I see the guy. I don't see your target. Oh, yes, I do.
He's being
I lied.
shot by the cops already. And he's scanned.
Is he? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in. There, Quasi. Oh, whoa, whoa. Shit, I hit an asteroid. Fuck, I didn't even see it. Hang on.
Well, I need ammo. You probably need a repair.
Wouldn't hurt. Definitely let my shields come back up. Unless he hit me with a missile. Who's this guy?
Clean.
Alright. Yeah, let's get out of here then. Hard points are in.
Retract hard points. Powered engines.
You said boom again.
Oh my god, this is terrible. Boom.
You said boom.
Yeah, and then I think I gotta go here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my wife's back from town now, so I'm gonna check on Turkey. And all
What's
that
the
kind
name of the
stuff.
station?
Have I said it more than once?
Somerset.
Boom, boom. Okay, I have one more boom to come. Okay. If I'm looking at my list of boom allocation.
You'll see there's one a lot closer to it. Right on the I'm still mass locked.
Yeah, I got some pretty good speed on this ship.
I didn't do any in the last show. I thought this carried over like minutes on this show.
Mine should be faster.
Okay, I have one more boom to come.
What is your top speed?
Boom.
Oh, never mind. I can't look right now. Frame shifting.
Well, let's see how much this gets me on the board.
Podcast listening device. Stick those buds deeper into
I've got 1.5 million in bounties for the secret billionaires.
That's cool.
Yeah.
1.5 million.
Where's that in inventory?
It's in your transactions. On the left.
Oh yeah, but I have to exit out. Be mine.
Man, I forgot how fast this thing was in terms of like turning and shit.
Yeah, because I have 1.5 million from before.
Nobody knows what we're talking about.
And then whatever we just added now, I'm sure I got another 500. Well, 300,000 to 500,000 I just picked up for sure. Doesn't it tell you what you have on you right now somewhere?
Yeah, under transactions.
Before you turn them in?
Claims.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. I'm sorry. 182,000 secret billionaires.
You have to figure
and
out,
then
what are we
some
doing
for
here?
some
And
other
you're
ones.
right. We've got to
I
get
thought
some
I got more.
jobs.
Okay.
I want some jobs. 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 I want some jobs.
Nice.
I want some jobs. I want some jobs. I want some jobs. I want some jobs.
Rio, are you still there? Are you talking on the phone?
I'm still here. And I'm passing you. Oh. There you go.
Oh, I don't have it at full. Just pass me?
No, you're just to my left.
Oh, let me look out. Let's see if my windows. Drop back of it so no override.
Now do you see me?
Now I do, yeah. Keeping up with you pretty good. Yeah, so if you notice, if you look in your navigation by Somerset, if you just go up a couple, there's a resource extraction high right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can just jump in and jump out without doing this long super cruise. So for later when you come back on.
We must and we will much about that be committed. But resist, we must and we will much about that be committed. You have to figure out, all right, what do we do here? And you're right. We've got to get some
overspeed, come on. This ship barely ever overspeeds. Yeah, it's right there, and the ring's right next to this planet. It's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. There it is. Oh, that's the hazardous one. Oh, yeah, you can see it anyway.
Dvorak.org/NA. Adios, mofo.
Did you waste a slot for autodock on that sucker, too?
No. No.
I didn't think.
She's all combat. Engines, guns, shields, and armor. Military composite.
You're listening to NoAgendaStream.com.
Yeah, me too. I switched. Like this one, I put the light on for when I'm exploring, and then I switched to military when I fight. So I got it on right now. But it takes away like 3 light years of jump distance when I... Safe disengage ready. 4, 3, 2, 100 kilometers. Fly, you're gonna die, fly.
Access granted. Prep for arrival on landing pad 4-1.
Please comply with this, Commander. Docking Bay 2-1. Well, let's follow the Fertilance. I'm on your 6.
Now where's 41?
I think I can get through the mail slot sideways with this ship, man.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
That's just right below me.
Problem.
Deploy landing gear.
Oh, you put a big metal tree in our way.
Nice. Let's see what we get here. The big turn in.
Landing successful. Clear to disembark. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
Good lord, this thing slides. Well. Meow.
Nice. Got me to top 75 in one run.
Yeah, mine last night was too.
Cool, man.
Authority contact. Oh yeah, 253,000. But only 182 for the secret billionaires. The rest is...
Cool. Well, with that, I'm going to sign off. I'll
all right, bro. We'll see you later, hopefully. Yeah.
You bet. Cheers.